Misaki. Hello there. Good morning, guys, and good evening. Hi. And it was as full screen as I could get it without it being actually full screen, since I only have one screen I can look at, so I can't do full screen for anything, unfortunately. So close enough. But oh my goodness, I'm excited to finish the event. And then I can farm. But I wonder how painful this part will be after it opens on 5/28. Ooh. No fear, no pain. And yeah, the wide view. Oh man. Moon's trolling was the best from last time. Like, that was the greatest thing. So let's see what happens to this tree. See and salute. Should you look up at the fantasies flowing through the air, or the conductor before you who is less than amused? Why less than amused, eh? Stare. Angry company representative. What the freak is with that tree up in the air? There are only a few days until the exhibition. How many stands does the thing take up? Rhine didn't apply for upper level exhibition rights. Rhine and the ATAO must be colluding. I saw Gordon Tannen on the tree that night. Gustav, former ATAO director, promised in a broadcast that he'd have an explanation the next morning. And what actually happened? Not one word from the committee. I bet they're stalling for time. Please remain patient. The credibility of the Propeller Paradise administration and engineering departments is at stake here. We need to deal with this carefully and come up with a plan that can satisfy the hundreds of corporations that have an interest in the project. I feel so bad for the secretary. Who's asking you to deal with it carefully? Or the staff member? Yes? Who gives a crap? It's not like this is another ring lab. The engineering department's inspections have stopped, and the administration's vetting is over. Who cares if Propeller Paradise officials are doing their jobs or not? But the hearing is a necessary part of the oversight process. Poor staff member. Investigations and trials. Those are your problem. We just want to know the result of the hearing. The Air Expo Colombia we expected to make a splash in Colombia and even all of Terra. Is it gonna happen or not? Like, I want it to happen, but at the same time, you know, a little pause is good. Out of the way. I said out of the way. You really think that sitting here puts your illegal equipment out of our reach? It remains Rhine Lab property until the hearing is underway. Besides, what are you calling illegal equipment? Don't you recognize the floating botanical unit when you see it? The saplings floating around you are no different from the one behind us. You insolent little... I need more men over here. Sky, we don't have the numbers. We can only hold on for so long. If they decide to use force. Yeah, they see a tree and they immediately assume it's a weapon. Like, gosh darn it. It's like, everything's a weapon. What's next? They'll see like a giant lollipop and be like, oh my goodness, the ultimate weapon. Besides, we don't know whether this tree-like device behind us is legal, or whether it's safe. After all, it's only been 2 years since Control Right. I'll ask you one question as a scientist. Are you willing to just hand over the product of Director Lunar Ray's sweat and blood? No, but... Then take action. Leave no regrets. If only we had more people, but Rhine only has so many people on Propeller Paradise. Did you forget that we're Rhine Lab people too, Mr. Jagger? I didn't want to drag you into this. You worried about the hearing? Ha. It's not like we're here. It's not like we haven't seen our share of trumped up charges. Those guys wouldn't have gotten into this platform if you called us sooner. Bunch of slum slugs trying to play the hero. Possession of illegal equipment, destruction of property, aiding and abetting. There's enough to keep all of you locked away for years. I'd already been locked away if Director Lunar Ray didn't take me in. You want such a tree, you have to go through us. Don't threaten me with a good time. He's like, joke's on you, I'm into this. Rhine researchers and testers form a wall against the guards attempting to enter. while curious onlookers on the outside look up at the towering tree. A tall dark figure walks past the rear of the crowd, footsteps clanking.
So, this is Rhine's tree.
Who you? It's an honor to see you here.
Oh, you flatter me, Mercia.
I did an extended holiday. It's about time I got back in the saddle. Are you here for the hearing? Yes, the design of the Mainlander Emergency Management Council badge is pretty nice. You should try one on. Is my mission over? Our mission has only just started. Oh, you think your luck's only good when it's cursed? Oh no! What are your orders? No rush. These past few days have been quite eventful, other than Nasty and Gordon Tannen. Are there any other stories that I should hear? No. Good. See you at the Ropeway station in 5 minutes. There's so much going on with Propeller Paradise that I'm sure I'll need a local guide. Understood. Broken muttering. Sorry, I should have closed the window. You wanted more Nero copies and said you're now a mother? Oh no! But congratulations! I kinda want to summon more. Company reps and testers are protesting on the streets. The longer the hearing takes, the more restless they get. Are you feeling better? Weak breathing. You're in poor shape. You've already seen Director Lunaray. Perhaps I should send you back to the Convallis.
No.
No. Another no, just like last night. Things will only get messier on Propeller Paradise in the coming days. It'll be even more difficult to leave.
We're in jail again. They didn't even bother to change our cell. The time of the hearing keeps changing. You think they might be looking for more evidence and stack even more charges on us? Look, if they ask, I'm telling the truth that you're the imposter. Come on, say something. You're scaring me.
You know, nomadic prisons on the barren lands could become tourist attractions. The only problem is that it's much easier to get in than out.
You're still thinking about tours at a time like this? You already lost one client, and now you're putting your other one in jail?
I'll find her. There's no need for you to worry.
How do you figure?
No trial, no ID check, no notice of here. You think the guards are just stalling for time to find a way to charge us?
Yes.
I don't think so. I think it's a sign. You and I are not the focus of this hearing. Imagine if they were the focus.
Brennan Oakley are in jail. Mary hasn't been since last night. All the phone lines in the registrar are busy. Everyone and their originium slugs are looking for me and Nasty. It's time I put what I learned from the old man to practice. I'll have an answer for everything. I have nothing to fear. Looks like the old fox has lost his touch. No one's come to interrogate me yet. Wait a second. Phew, alright. I still show up as a chief executive of Propeller Paradise on the terminal.
Beep. Sky Conqueror is currently under excessive stress. Please remember your health. We're on a long journey that leads beyond Terra.
Damn it, are they gonna start the hearing or not? Everything would be over and done with if I were in charge. That old clue just keeps tripping me up. It's been this way for 7 years.
Imagine being Fern's friend. I wonder how that girl's doing. I hope she's doing well. Miss Columbia sees a broadcast news of a certain criminal tour guide. They'll be like, nah, that's my girl.
Why haven't you gotten one bit better in these past 7 years? Gustav. How would you do it if you were in charge? You thought you could pat yourself on the back for stopping the Rhine inspections, then you could continue to run your little hustle worry-free. What do you think ATAO was? A kindergarten? Is that how you ended up in this naive? Everything would have gone smoothly if not for that bloody tree. This is all Nasty's fault. smoothly. Even a junior assistant under Nasty saw through your tricks. The whole country would have seen your dirty laundry if he weren't every bit as naive as you. So much that he came to me for help. So tell me, how do you plan on dealing with it? Please, help me, sir. Humph. Whatever the reason, Rhine had to build this floating unit. We can't let them continue to define their own creations. The administration should have had full authority over this, but it has been excluded from the assessment thanks to your incompetence. You mean we'll need a third party? A scientific consultant who is objective, professional, and with the appearance of impartiality.
Scientific consultant? Look at how buff and majestic a scientific consultant is.
Mr. Tannen, it's a pleasure. He doesn't look like a scientific consultant at all. Can he really handle this Rhine stuff?
Nah, I believe in him.
I visited the floating platform in order to familiarize myself with the assessment subject. It's certainly an impressive tree, and there was plenty of activity in its shade. Over our cold dead bodies! Mr. Jagger, just bluffing. Did radiation from beyond the star pod fry your brain or something? You really want to bleed for this? You get your wish then. Stop. The uniform, you with Maylander? We're with the Maylander Foundation's Emergency Management Council. According to the bylaws of the Propeller Paradise, the council has the authority to take over all administrative and management functions in the event of an accident or disaster. You can check with Gordon Tannen and Gustav. Emergency Management Council? Yes, Mr. Jagger. We understand your position, but we advise you to avoid any reckless actions. We're authorized to take extraordinary measures against you and your colleagues, if necessary. So Propeller Paradise is in a state of emergency, and your preliminary investigation has defined yesterday's event as a special incident. Yes, the Council has established a special investigation team to obtain evidence from the scene and persons of interest. The investigation is ongoing. The hearing is the only fair and just course of action, in the absence of an official judicial institution. We thank you for your patience. Does Ryan keep possession of this floating botanical unit until the hearing? Of course. I hope your investigation is as fair and just as the conclusion you just reached. There is no need to worry. The safety of the temporary floating platform has been ensured. Bravo is resuming patrol.
Okay, Maylander.
Are we just gonna leave, Mr. Jagger? Maylander's authority looks real, judging from the reaction of the guards. The hearing keeps getting delayed, and things are still in a flux. We won't learn anything if we stay here. Besides, have any of you seen Director Luna Ray?
What you doing, Nasty? Nasty? I wonder how tough Mr. Scientist is. Like, he's buff as heck. He's a similar build to Mountain. And okay, no fear, no pain for this stage. I'm gonna put down Wizardell first. When it comes to my attackers anyways. You know, over here seems fine. Yeah, right there. I failed. Lol. Oh, my bad. Those things are just too fast, what the heck? He could be a Knights more, that'd be fun. And shoot, how many of them can be over here? Yeah, this is fine. Whatever, I'll let those through. Gotta redo it anyways. Maybe not Wizardell first thing, I'd put Thorns down. Thorns, my boy, save me! Those gosh darn rockets.
人外で戦場で誰も救えない。
ドクター、血は残すな。
Sky Strider porta potty. Ew, I just realized that I'm beating up a porta potty. That's disgusting. I don't want to fight a porta potty.
時間をかけるつもりはない。
Ew.
命令を無駄だ。
I don't got my Sakiko leveled.
私の名前をすべてのオリジニウムに刻んで。
Sheesh.
今日もよろしくね。
いいだ。
Oops.
決まったか。
You want me to just use these skills real quick?
我が意向にかき消されたり。
This is fine.
わかった。
I just need to heal it real quick.
これこそがイベリアのデストレ。
Being healthy. Oh, no one got through. Shoot. I'm gonna redo it afterwards. It's okay to see to live for now. Thingy porta potty. Wizard'll need to live.
お星様にあんたたちの悲鳴を聞か
But right now it's fine.
大声出してみなさいよドクター。
Thingy porta potty.
友達が待ってるわよ。
Oh, I hate this so much.
ドキドキ距離を合わせて。
It's okay. Redo.
作戦行動中に問題が発生しました。システムを再起動してください。
New strategy. This will be fine. Still gonna put Muriel down first thing, and then my boy. I just gotta make sure not to put anyone else on that platform because there's only one that can be on there. Maybe that was my bad for putting Silver Ash down. 18, 19.
全員の行動
Okay, that's fine.
本気で行くよ。
Heck, I'm just gonna put her down there first thing.
あんたたちの悲鳴を。
お前の攻撃は
That's fine. Let me just make sure I can activate her skill, and then no fear, no pain.
ああ、残念ね。塵すら残らなかった。
Then not as scary. And someone there, cause
アーツユニットチャージ中。本気で行くよ。
yay.
なよ、今日はもうじき終焉だけど、君たちはまだ何か待ってるのかな？
It was fine. No fear, no pain.
今こそ私の名前をすべてのオリジニウムに
At this point, I'll win.
ここでは何が起きている？指定の位置に。
Yep, all good.
わあ、みんなこっち来て。早く離れてください。お願いします。
Oh man, I'm not looking forward to the final boss over here.
悪い知らせです。皆さん
Final boss is gonna be annoying as
あ
heck.
んたたちカスどもにどんな芸があるか見てやるわ。
Or maybe it won't be as bad as I'm thinking. I hate these porta potties. I hate that rocket. Oh, I hate it with a burning passion.
承知。
少しは真面目
Like,
に。
how freaking dare you?
ショーのみ、今日はもうじき終焉だけど、君
医療プロセス開始します。
It's just gonna zoom on through. I wanna annoy it. I'm gonna piss it off. Actually, wait, no. Too heavy.
己が存在を自らに超え。お前の攻
It's okay.
想定の通りだ。
Evil. Imagine raising Nightingale. A small sand beast in the forest caught my attention. My knowledge told me that this creature usually makes its habitat in the barrens. The frightened beast escaped into the bushes. I pursued it through thorn and briar, driven by curiosity, and found myself gazing upon an unexpected landscape.
Do you see it, Fanny?
Yeah. The great desert and the sky. Pink where they meet in the horizon. It's totally different from the pictures in the textbooks. It smells sweet.
Heh, that's your mom baking cupcakes, so be ready soon.
Tell me again about your adventures in the eastern wasteland. No, tell me about the city in the sky.
There's no rush, Fanny. There's plenty of time. We have plenty of time and plenty of adventures to talk about. You'll see everything that I've ever seen when you grow up and your feet become quicker, I promise.
Good luck to this family. Ah, wait, that was Fern's family. Penny, Fern. Stop spinning tall tales to my clients.
Don't blame me for you being boring, trainee. They just like my stories better.
My job is to take clients to see places that actually exist.
You think only the places that your company marked exist? What about the things I saw in my youth? I told you shouldn't just read from your tourist manual. You need to walk a path that no one has ever seen.
And achieve nothing in life, get laughed at by the neighbors, and spend my old age spinning tall tales to children. I believe your stories, the flying Beck base, the floating city, golden pink deserts. They'll always be precious memories, but you believe in your stories too much.
Fern, come back here.
Nothing wrong with having an imagination. Like, is whimsy so bad? Congratulations, Miss Fernbarn. Your application has been approved. You're now the owner of an independent travel agency. She's an owner? Thank you. It's a big first step, even if it's a one-woman company. One woman? I thought the other name of the application. Martin Barn, my dad, passed away last year. I'm sorry. No need to apologize. I wouldn't have decided to start my own travel agency if not for him. Even if you won't be able to travel together, Martin Barn will always be an important part of this company. I'm sure you'd be glad. Have you decided your first route? I can recommend a few popular spots. Is there someplace that no one's ever gone before? Most of my peers think my slogan is going into the unknown is just a gimmick. Only my clients and I know how many wonderful sights we saw and how many amazing things we did together. Our destination was Propeller Paradise. I wanted to see what the future would be like while my client had an ambiguous wish. I swear I didn't mean to sabotage Rhine. My client was in good shape and you were the only other banshee I knew of.
No need to apologize. I'm not here to put you on trial. I just wanted to know who you and your client were. I'll be happy to read your autobiography if you ever publish one. But right now, time is of the essence.
You're worried about the hearing? I don't think the investigation is complete yet, since they keep pushing the date back.
The trial will come sooner than you think. Tell me about your banshee client as succinctly as you can. When did you meet? Why did you come here? And how is her health?
It was 2 months ago, in the Bleach Wasteland. Brr, it's really cold at night. The sand's black, completely different from what Dad said. The outskirts of the Bleached Wasteland aren't as scary as the stories say. My flesh hasn't been ripped from my bones, and I haven't heard the ghosts of the dead yet wailing. Wait, what's that shadow on the slope? Don't tell me there actually are ghosts here.
Is this Columbia? Guide. Guide.
Are you alright? Pulse and breathing normal. Doesn't seem like dehydration. Well, can't hurt to try.
Am I back in the Convalis? No, I haven't seen her yet. Do not mourn me. I must not roost.
Calm down. Do you remember your name?
No.
Where are you going? Hello. You're in the Bleached Wasteland in Columbia. Do you remember what you're here for?
Wasteland? No, she's not here.
What are you looking for? Maybe I can help. Fern's toys will fulfill your every wish, even the ones you think won't come true, and our prices are fair and reasonable. My dad always said that if it hasn't come true yet, there's always a chance. He also said, Ma'am? Ma'am? She's lost consciousness. Featherhorns. What's this banshee looking for, and how did she get lost in the Bleached Wasteland? What are these floating symbols? What language is this? And these golden patterns carrying tiny leaves. Is this her art? The leaves are moving, pointing towards DC? Her memory got fuzzier and fuzzier. I didn't know what was wrong with her until I got desperate.
You can't stop time.
It's a symptom of age, but her memories.
I've seen this before in the Convalis. It goes hand in hand with death. If a banshee who's starting to lose her memories showed up here, then perhaps it's her last wish to keep what's left of her mind together.
Do you mean?
You're trying to fulfill her dying wish.
She came all the way to Colombia, walked through the bleached wasteland on foot just to fulfill her final wish? What is she looking for? An object of a truth, or someone she cared about? I see. Every cop in Propeller Paradise is looking for you. Rhine needs to give everyone an explanation. This delayed hearing is extremely important to you, yet you came to look for a guide you've only met in passing, asking about her client. Unless you already know who she's looking for, or... Is it you she came to Colombia for?
Thank you for caring for my mother, Fern.
Aw, she referred to her as Mom. She must still be somewhere in Propeller Paradise. I'll help you look for her.
We're out of time. Please come with us, Director Lunaray.
A few more minutes, please. Wait, your uniform. It's not Tana who sent you.
The Mainliner Emergency Management Council. Your new uniforms look just like the old ones. The council has completed its investigation concerning the flight of the illegal device that occurred last night. Please accompany us to verify the findings. Please communicate any objections that you may have to avoid unnecessary misunderstandings and waste time of the hearing.
The investigation is complete. Then why hasn't the hearing started? We've been waiting for 7 hours.
The hearing is delayed, but the trial's already begun.
Wow. What a messy court case.
I can understand if a scientist... I can understand if a scientist doesn't talk. Have you forgotten how to speak too? I remember how I was on the short list for promotion. The next day, you transferred an official of the same rank over from HQ. He was young, superb, made all the candidates uneasy. We climbed over each other to prove to you that we were the best one for the job. Same old story, isn't it? In the end, you're the one who got the promotion. I was supposed to get it. Nothing is ever supposed to happen, kid. You really think the chief executive of Propeller Paradise is an important post? No, people only remember the one who gives the opening address. It doesn't necessarily have to be you.
Gordon has his eyes on the Kuranta behind Gustav. The spikes in the Savra's tail rise up on their ends. Swaying conspicuously, he's on guard. He knows that Gustav is intentionally agitating his competitiveness, but after so many years at ATAO, he can't stop himself from provoking his competitors. In order to lead the ATAO, he took on tasks that were not his job, pulled strings everywhere, and bowed his head to Gustav, his tormentor. He must not stop now.
What do you think Rhine's device is, Mr. Consultant? Maybe a variation of a floating botanical unit? Excuses. No. Floating botanical units are electrical cables in the sky. Lightweight and mobility are paramount. What did I see on my way here? 2 empty slots on the tree's internal activator. My guess is... anyone can tell it's waiting for 2 keys. It doesn't look like the tree will fully activate until a second Rhine Lab Section Director is present, unless someone else sneaks into Propeller Paradise unnoticed. What do you mean? People might have many theories and speculations about the device because of its appearance and the Rhine name, but I see nothing more than a flying tree, Mr. Gustav. Are you done? We're not here to write Rhine's paper for them. The delayed hearing has brought us time. But the reason Nasi concealed the tree's existence, how Fern sneaked in, and my side hustle, everything needs an explanation. Enough. Impatience is a sign of fear, and questions are a sign of incompetence. Our consultant here has already given us the answer. What is it? Ryan's device is pretty low risk, but it also invites all kinds of speculation. Therefore, our definition of it can be as big or as small as we want it to be. What else do you need me to do, sir? Do as you're told. All you need to do is what you're told.
And you're told to work community service for me in my outpost. Or maybe not yet. That's what you have to do in your future. Stop pushing!
But please, let me through. I have something to ask the desk.
Don't waste your time. We don't know what the hearing is. Or when the hearing is.
I just want to know if I should come forward to the investigation.
Listen, we're impatient too. No one can do anything to move the hearing process forward. Unless you're actually involved in the case. Let me guess, you took out a Sky loan, didn't you?
Yes, there were 6 grocers like me back home. We spent our days betting drinks on the direction the tumbleweed rolled until 2 years ago. The Sky, the sauropod, the life free of Originium, a brand new frontier for Colombia. I didn't understand a thing the TV and newspapers said, but I saw the lights that night. I sold my shop, abandoned my wife. What abandoned my wife?
Dude.
I sold my shop, abandoned my wife, took out a huge load, and went into propeller paradise without ever looking back.
Dude. Wow. I've already heard a dozen stories like that today. Take a banner and go join the protest instead of hanging your head here. Aspen looks down at the protester banner in his hand. The fabric is silver, a reflective material commonly used by flying machines. Lucky Sissy Bee's furniture uses the same materials too. Aspen does not understand how it became so popular so quickly. The silver reflects his face whenever he walks past it. It is patently absurd. Yet the sight of the silvery fabric also causes his heart to leap, as though the future is really in his hands and luck really is on his side. You have no luck, sir!
I'll make it. I'll make it through this hearing. Even if I'm put on trial and thrown in jail, I'll make sure the name Lucky Sissy Bees and my exhibits stay on Propeller Paradise, where everybody can see them.
Yeah, he's getting milk for himself.
Things will turn out fine. Lucky Sissy Bees will bring me luck.
If his ex-wife hears about this, she's gonna be like, you know what? Maybe I dodged a bullet. Like, thank you for leaving. He's never been late before. Was he delayed by the protests, or did he get lost in the way?
The structure of Propeller Paradise is certainly complex, but it's not so hard to understand if we see it as a massive rankwood film set.
I remember the Pioneer Era classics you starred in. People still think your metal body was some kind of special effect.
You have a good memory. Transportation in the levitating layer is very interesting. The combination of steel wires and ball pods seems like some sort of amusement park. I apologize for the delay. I had to make a few rounds to humor these 3 stooges.
Of course. I haven't had a chance to greet them yet.
No need to be nervous, young Maylander agents. Always attract too much attention. It takes someone with a calmer demeanor like you to play the part of a secretary. But I can't help but feel like you're starting to go too far with this seriousness thing.
Hello.
Tannen isn't an easy customer, is he?
He has a personality. It's not hard to read.
Good work. Your timing a few days ago was impeccable. A single squad eliminated 2 major risks before the exhibition. I'll be sure to make a note on your annual assessment.
I'm flattered.
The suspension of Propeller Paradise is administrative, and engineering functions has created plenty of room for Maylander to operate. Gustav's desire to work with us is clear. He's already sent people to deal with Rhine's devices, and he intends to personally instruct his subordinates.
I guess all that's left is a hearing to placate the public?
You have questions about the delay of the hearing, don't you?
It's not like Maylander to stall.
Since when did you pick up an impatient streak? Everything happens in due course. We're not the only one here to investigate. Such a beautiful, futuristic city. I leave Colombia for a few months, and all sorts of new things pop up. How long will it take to make a full round of the levitation layer?
Less than an hour by ropeway.
Very good. I would like to enjoy a nice view of Propeller Paradise before the hearing.
He's just gonna go the scenic route.
勝利を砥石のごとくして研鑽を重ねよう
And the 3 Stooges are gonna have so much fun. They'll be like, wee! Intersecting routes. As they pass each other by, they glance at one another, unsure why the other departed and how long they can continue to fly. Time for the trial. Hi, Nasty. The wind blows in the leaves in the young banshee's hand, and voices fall from the breeze. In sarcasm, one more story. How about the tales of the wandering middle hero? Oh wait, how about the tale of the wandering middle hero? He even graced our valley once. In fact, the mist that shrouds Mist Lake was actually blown from his big pipe. Retract your feather horns like this, and you can shield your eyes. So we can use them as an eye mask to sleep during the day? No, of course not. This is so you can easily weave your tears into elegies at funerals. Another recording ends, and the young banshee keeps her leaves in a chest pocket. Yet her gaze suddenly turns wary. Ease up again, and I'll throw you into the concrete mixer. Hi, Kristen. What are you doing here? Was that a banshee's incantation? Yes. You journey thousands of miles from Castle to Columbia. You record your people's voices to keep you by your side, listening to them over and over. Is homesickness so hard for you to comprehend? No, but it's where I find someone concentrating on nostalgia the same way she concentrates on a blueprint. You're trying to decipher that banshee's language and behavior. Why? To find a new path to solve your entire race's plight that has endured for millennia? Gah, I'm not that arrogant. I only hope to take a burden off the shoulders of a particularly worried individual. I see. That's pretty much what I just said. So any breakthroughs? I'm not in much of a rush. It sounds as if you replayed the countless times over. It sounds as if you replayed that countless times over. Soaking the same old corpus until you drown, unable to develop a new language. The limits of vision and thought drown us in the pool of common sense, and then everything turns into so-called destiny. I thought you left Castle knowing this. Erasing those recordings is a cruel suggestion. It's rational. Hello, I'm Kristen. Control of Rhine Lab. Nasty. The talented banshee, freshly recruited by Stern Lake Construction Co., who completes projects 3 times faster than regular engineers, provoking rumors of you imbuing witchcraft into blueprints. We're currently establishing an engineering department at Rhine Lab. Might you be interested? I happened to overhear your chat with the boss yesterday. Rhine Lab is a biotech company, yes? Look up, Nasty. Do you see those foul beasts and the morning stars behind them? I'm only looking for some kind of power to break through the sky. The sky. Per your prior suggestion, if you wish to accomplish something that exceeds the borders of common sense, then perhaps the power you need doesn't come from our side. Rhine Lab should be looking into scientific investigation department instead. A rational suggestion. Can I take this as the first proposal fielded by our director of engineering? What a way to be recruited! Miss Ludoray, I thought you'd send me straight to the hearing, or perhaps a more confidential cell. But here we are, waiting for a cable car at the roadway station. Are we to visit the levitation layer next? Your visitor is indeed enraged for that. Long time no see, Nasty. So it was you. I just got here, and what a fine place it is. I still have half the place to see. Shall we have a look together? All right. I love how upfront Kristen is too. It's like, I just want to go to the sky. It's like, okay, I'm in. Why is it raining only in the area we just passed through? Cloud projections, thanks to the sky simulator system developed by Rankwood. Wait 5 minutes, and you can even enjoy an aurora. A century ago, that fellow known today as the father of projections once lamented to me that on a film set, wondering if we could finally shoot a film up in the sky. Sky fever has truly set the revolutionary gears of film tech in motion. Quite an atmosphere here, Nasty.
Personally, I take civilization's rapid development as commonplace happenings, and now I can't help but be moved by the Colombians' creativity. It's hard to believe you'd still be in the mood for fun and games. According to the laws drawn up for Propeller Paradise, relevant authorities must call for a hearing within 12 hours of an emergency event happening to investigate the matter and notify the public. Gordon barged into Rhine Lab's vivarium, wrecked our research projects, and exposed his shady dealings to public scrutiny. Evidence and testimonies provided were complete and accurate. Your people arrived quickly, and you've been dragging your feet to begin this hearing. This is no procrastination, Nasty. 2 years ago, the Colombians never thought they'd fight the clouds for the right to dwell above. But now, Propeller Paradise has become the hottest topic in all of Colombia, and its name tops the special plate registry records. Take a moment to ride the cable car as it circles around, look at the facilities around you, and at the company representatives clogging the entrance to the registration center. All this already tells us what sort of judgment the hearing will produce, though. Propeller Paradise. Humph, you get it? Paradise. Representing a zealous ambition to fly high up into the skies, while Propeller has an exact implication too. There's no stopping. A smuggling network exposed, revealed to be led by the chief executive involving nearly 100 companies. Numerous irregularities found in the park's research work over the past 6 months. Once we begin investigating, the exhibition will have to be cancelled. You're right, Nasty. The hearing must convene, and everything that has happened must be accounted for. But it's all they need, an account. And Rhine Lab is the most appropriate party to provide that. After all, the Sky Fever began that night in Trimounts. Anyone could believe Rhine Lab will do something like this again. Never the science technician connecting nothing but cables that your peers say you are. Though this isn't exactly a false accusation against Rhine Lab now, is it? Your mystery tree still floats in the sky, putting aside your botanical unit and other excuses. How are you going to explain that? It sounds like I don't even have to attend the hearing anymore. You've already made up your mind, after all. I'm sorry, Nasty. I'm not sure of the exact time frame, but I'll go home eventually. Someone's waiting for me. Before that happens, Rhine Lab can become one of the stops on your journey. It doesn't matter if you want to develop a new language, create a new convalis, or change the so-called fate of your clan. No one will get in the way of your goals. On the contrary, Rhine Lab will fight for everything you need. After all, we have many like you. And the catch? Or perhaps I should ask, the cost? Nasty, I don't ask company employees to view Rhine Lab's operations as some sort of grand undertaking worthy of personal sacrifice. If we want to accomplish the unprecedented, we are already on a path strewn with enough doubt and loss. So we must never stop, ever. I consent to join Rhine Lab then. Heck yeah. Seeing as we're still in the cable car, I'm sure there's room for discussion. The hearing must take place and everything has to be accounted for, but it's merely an accounting. All of Colombia knows about the Horizon Arc project from 2 years ago. Kristen stole funding from the DoD, but Rhine Lab as a whole was not fully involved, though I was certainly her accomplice. Pinning the blame of endangering the entire park on a company versus an individual has entirely different implications, Nasty. Are you willing to sacrifice yourself like this for Rhine Lab? Sacrifice? Kristen and I aren't fans of the word. Everything has a price. That is what life in the Convalis and Castle taught me. There's no way I'll willingly take the blame for one of Mainlander's plans. I won't make it hard for the other Rhine Labbers. Nor that tree, for that matter. Do as you wish with the device, but let my assistant take the data, since the research isn't finished. He knows nothing about my project, so don't worry about him tampering with it. We're here. The agent at the station will escort you where you should go. Right, there's something else. When I returned to Castel, I went to the Convalis. Viola's here, I already know. I planned to hurry and find her before I went to the hearing. Viola's in the park. Heh, Mercia, so I see. I'll send someone to look after my old friend. Thanks.
The hearing on the sudden accident and Propeller Paradise has just concluded. Suspect Nasty Lunaray abused her position as the head of the Park Engineering Department to conduct unauthorized experimental projects, and this nearly led to a disaster. On the night of the incident, the suspect attacked Gordon Tannen, the park's chief executive, in an attempt to cover up her crime with an unidentified tree-shaped device. No? According to Mr. Tannen's testimony, the suspect not only deliberately tried to harm him, but she also abused her engineering privileges to tamper with the exhibits. Yeah, she smiled at him cutely. So terrifying. She forced her subordinates to conduct illegal tests, deliberately suppressed rival tech companies, and forced dozens of outstanding companies to leave the park. Now, with the ATO's backing, the innocent corporations implicated in this incident have returned to Propeller Paradise and will continue to contribute to Columbia's area operations. The suspect Nasi Lunare is currently in custody after confessing to her crimes. She'll be sent to DC courts to face justice. From now on, Propeller Paradise operations will be overseen by Gordon Tannen and Gustav, supervised by the Mainlander Emergency Management Council. I don't like this. The highly anticipated Air Expo Columbia will not be affected whatsoever. Madam Viola, was that too loud? My apologies.
Nasty, what happened to her?
Don't you mind that, madam. Let your final memory of Director Lunare be when you saw her last night. The young agent places a hand on the old projector and gently turns its dials, as if manipulating delicate strings of memories. Mainlander Emergency Management Council intervenes in all of Colombian incidents in the name of monitoring the emergency measures of government agencies for incidents produce the easiest facts to manipulate. The Tin Man always jokes about how the council's methods are more extensive than Mama John's stock lists. And this of course includes Mercia's Origini Marts. Erasing memories. Mercia has done the same actions hundreds, thousands of times, but now her hand turning the dial freezes up. No, at the very least, I shouldn't do this to an old woman with already fading memories. Besides, the facts have been tampered with enough today. A late hearing satisfied corporate reps, my fellow agents infiltrating the crowd. What exactly is a Tin Man's mission this time? The more people on patrol, the less I can do for you. It's only a matter of time before he discovers my deception. But if you can't stop worrying over Director Lunare, I'll figure out a way.
Nasty, my daughter, I'm sorry. It was I who left you homeless.
Oh no! Every word that Kristen says, she always says it as a fact. With absolute clarity, it'll happen. Not if. Nasi was someone that might even be closer to Kristen and Saria in terms of witnessing her journey in a front view place. I do like that though, Rhine has a purpose. Are those who want to fulfill those dreams?
Where the torches are lit, the myriad souls be. Bones to bones, souls to souls.
Let's conclude the funeral here, Viola. Our people have returned to the courtyard, and night is falling.
3 months. Demoy spent 3 months in the wooden hut under the roosting tree before death finally came. I've done all I could, but I could not alleviate the pain of slowly turning into an empty husk. She was never the sorrowful sort. The reed beds along the Blake shore would sway to the sound of her laughter. But every pleasant memory from the past 2 centuries vanished completely within the first 3 days after she moved into the wooden hut. I couldn't retrieve them as much as I wanted to. In those final 3 months, as her remaining memories abandoned her, all she could do was force out broken hoarse whispers from her throat. In her 2 centuries of life, she certainly knew laughter in full measure, at least. But why did she have to end up meeting death in agony? In these 200 years since we settled in the Convalis, every Banshee that has left us has experienced a long and painful period of losing her memory before death. A cruel joke, simply put. To the departed, Banshees are the last ones to remember their existence. It is not in our nature to forget, but to remember. Forgetting is indeed a new phenomenon of the last 2 centuries, but you shouldn't blame yourself for a chronic disease we have yet to comprehend. A chronic disease or a cost. Every time, every person without fail first loses her memories of life in the Convalis.
As if the life we created was mere stuffing made of cotton, a substitute that replaced the life we were originally born to live. But in the end, when it decays completely with time, the people it once filled are left as empty husks. Is it not what we've always wanted to do? To create a different life for the banshees, the sarkas, a life accompanied by song and pastry, rather than war and death. You remember what Her Highness promised us? As we deal with all this in the Convalis, she, as the king of sarkas, will guide our people to bid farewell to our omnipresent, vengeful, and bloodthirsty nature. You personally told me that Her Highness has turned to Originium for answers, along with that dame. I had a few more conversations with Her Highness after that. She never forgot our original dream. She only changed to a more decisive method to fulfill her promise. If the day comes where her flowers can cover the land, all the more we sarkas will need a new way of life. I only hope the Convalis will hold on until then. The roosting tree is still withering. Its roots have long since rotted. Neither the children of soil and stone's witchcraft nor my own incantations have been of any effect. I'm sure there's a future for our roosting tree. I only hope you'll be there to see it. These past few months, you haven't gotten even a single night's sleep as you kept Demoy company. Her moments of peace were thanks to your soothing incantations, that she could gain respite from listening to the boats on Mist Lake. But what about you? Now that Demoy is gone, the only banshee left to experience the war 2 centuries ago are you and me. Only I can pay the price. What about the children? Is that why you sent Ephaniel to Casdell? The banshee's future should be left to the children. Whether the decision was right or wrong, we shouldn't let the children pay for it. Is that why you didn't let Nasty join in the funeral rites this time? And good that I didn't. If the Convalis life is but a fragile existence made of cotton stuffing, then Nasty grew up fighting for her life in Casdell. To her, death is nothing but originium crystals sprouting all over the ground. Her attitude towards death will spread doubts to the other children. She has a bright mind. I'm sure she'll understand your intention. I remember when she wanted to build a hut of her own by the roosting tree, though in the end you had her build it in the Mistapple Pulp Woods. You hardly bring her to the courtyard gatherings, nor do you allow her to formally study incantations and elegies. How do you explain all that to her? I found the children too loud, so as a custodian, I had to move further away to find some peace and quiet. She saw how busy I was. And she believed it? At least she said nothing. Alright, like Carameline, you should go. And you? I wish you'd stay a while longer. You've sung this elegy long enough. I don't know what else I can do. The Convalis is headed towards decay, and beyond it, the souls left homeless by my mistakes can only weep. You can still go back and keep Nasty company at least. As a mother, we might not be able to pay the cost of always shutting our children out. You close the door only to hide cruel truths, but to the child, you're pushing her away. These days, I've been getting the feeling that Nasty will leave. But I never thought the day would come so soon. Yes, it's an abrupt decision. A flimsy boat drifts downstream out of the valley, propelled by an old banshee's incantations. Reed sways as a thin mist veils the falling leaves on the lake surface. With the season indiscernible, the farewell is bereft of a seasonal undertone. I'd hoped for you to spend the rest of your life peacefully in the Convalis. It was my mistake not finding you earlier than I did. You've already gone through so much suffering. When I decided to bring you back here, I should have been responsible for you, but in the end, please forgive my conflicted heart, Nasty. I'm not leaving because of you, Vela. At least, not for the reason you think. Unlike those children, you know how Kazo is, even now. The living still fight in the market, teeming with the stench of rust and excrement. will crystals sprout from the dead like untended weeds. It does not hold the answer I want. But what is your question in the first place? Where are you planning to go? I don't know. Maybe I'll use the half-baked invitations I picked up from you, cast a few stones at the valley's entrance, and then decide a direction for me. Lithuanian, Laterano, Colombia? I hear those strange names in Wandering in Castel. Those places. They're very far. So? Take care, child. Eat well. After long silence, Villa only managed one sentence. The old banshee who has traveled far and wide here, bearing word of demise, only realizes now how familiar those places sound to her. Her adopted daughter is about to embark on a journey, and she has no idea how it will end, or what sort of advice to impart. As the boat gently glides by to the murmur of water, Nasty does not turn around. Farewell, mother. It is an interesting comparison, though, how Bella found her and how she feels about, like, the Convalis.
イカれた連中が目の濁った奴らを先導してるみたいだね。
I knew how to want to do this.
通りでいつまで経っても疲れ知らずなわけだ。
You know, over here's fine.
ドクター、ここっていい景色だね。
Like, oh man. 18, 19.
時間をかけるつもりはない。
みんな、こっち来て。
Blocking drones feels weird.
私の名前を
Liberate a
全ての
tree.
オリジニウムに刻んでやるわよ。
I want to beat up a tree.
いい知らせが大声出してみなさいよドクター。お友達が待ってるわ。みんな
What a weird thought, beating up a tree. Shoot. Okay, they can get her from here, I guess. Yeah, it's fine.
ロックを
No, don't kill my Wizardel,
あ
please.
んたたちの悲鳴を聞かせてや遺言の伝達断るプログラムロード
Stinky tree. I'm not stinky tree, stinky drones.
命令を目を凝らせ。
リンゴちゃん今日もよろしくね。
何を片付ければいい？さっさと片付ければ楽に終わる。
Okay, a little bit over here, it's fine.
指定の位置に。
お星様にあんたたちの悲鳴
Sheesh.
あんたたちって世界を半分滅ぼしたってのにまだ私を
Oh, I hate this with a burning passion.
無様ね
Let's see how I want to do this. Well, at this point, I'm not really on a... Shoot.
みんなこっち来て
You know what? Stay here.
ための戦いが
Good enough.
そんなにコソコソしなくていいよ。
You know what? Healer's good.
怖くはないわ今こそ
He just, like, not...
お助けする時で
これで静かになってくれる。
ショーの三つはもうじき終焉だけど、君
Oh, I hate those trees.
捕まってるのかな。
承知した。
私に出会ったのが運の。
Everyone's just here to suffer at this point.
お安いご用よ
Like, oh my bad. It's okay, there's only one left. If I lose now, something's wrong.
私に出会ったのが運の尽きだ。
Yeah, this point is fine.
準備あれがターゲットか？指示を待つ。何を片付ければいい？
ハローまだ挨拶するには早いわよ
Actually, yeah, it's fine. It's pretty much fine.
私の名前をすべてのオリジニウムに刻んでやるわよ
Phew. cheering. Attention all company representatives and testers. Propeller Paradise will link up with DC in 2 hours. The park's broadcast will begin once we are in range of the intercity net. Please make sure your exhibits are all functioning optimally. Air Expo Columbia is about to begin.
Look, that's Tower Mountain's Phi-MD's airship. I heard they made a lot of last-minute modifications and greatly improved its heat resistance. And its solar-powered hover kitchen kit. With a power source like that, it works even beyond the sauropod. I've been curious about it ever since I've read the brochure. And... Whoa!
Good thing you only hit the window rail, instead of getting your whole head stuck in there.
The expo's about to begin. Aren't you nervous at all?
Relax, professionals always have an escape plan ready. I'll get you out when the time's right. You wanna leave already?
No, sir. Of course not. Whatever, I'm just here to hand over some stuff. That's a lot of papers. Are these records and investigations forms? And the name on them, Fern Barn?
Vandalizing public property, theft of cultural relics, trespassing, impersonating a guide. Why is a little indie guide worth your trouble to scrutinize 5 years of work history?
We just need your signature down here, and you'll spend the rest of your life in jail introducing folks to handcuffs and shackles.
What do you want?
The expo's about to begin, but we need more hands on deck. We can't afford to lock up the park's only 2 guides. What a waste of time and resources. But there are too many records with your name on them, and you're connected to Nasty Lunare.
So you decided to threaten me?
Stay in line, and this is a chance to wipe your rap sheets clean, you know.
Seems like I don't have a choice.
Save your thanks for Gustav. He was the one who proposed it to the Maylander Emergency Management Council. The 2 of you will be missing out on this expo, marking the beginning of a new era without him. I'm sure you heard the broadcast too before the park plate delves into the intercity net's range. It begins a live stream. Make sure you're fully prepared to introduce the future to every Colombian out there.
I get it. I'll finish all the studio work and won't leave the park before the expo ends.
Good deal. Then come on out, you two. Time to get to work. On behalf of all Lithuanians, I express my most sincere congratulations. Congratulations for the upcoming Air Expo Columbia, to be held on the experimental propeller paradise. Take a guess, who signed it at the end?
Conductor of Gildanes, Gestats, Guardian of the 9 Crace. Oops. Anyway, when with a string of titles neither of us could pronounce. The Kaiserin.
The late Maylander Sr. and I always said those with a keen sense for politics never lose it, and it seems that holds true. Miss Wilson.
Hi, Jara.
I'd rather keep a keen sense for wine tasting, honestly. Laterano took half a century to hold the Summit of Nations, an event you could say was the largest diplomatic event on Terra in nearly 2 centuries. The Lithuanian only sent over a few insignificant dukes as delegates. But our tiny Air Expo Columbia has gotten a personal letter of congratulations from the Kaiserin.
Mr. Vice President, Propeller Paradise has sent over a gift. A bunch of balloons in the shape of the president, most of which are already decorating the hallways.
Thank you, Pavard.
Perhaps you could return the Kaiserin's wishes with a balloon like that one.
And let the Guesthouse Watcher and the Spirecasters spend 3 days carefully dismantling it into rubber scrap.
It seems to be an average balloon for decorative purposes.
I fear that is no longer the case since the letter was penned by the Kaiserin. It'll transform into the most cutting-edge military tech, an aerial bomb disguised as a balloon sent floating into another country's airspace.
And how many congratulations like that have you received?
Let's see, Victorian Grand Dukes, the Ursine Speaker, the Grand Knight of Cachimirage. I'll run out of fingers to count on. The VP before me spent 4 years worrying about immigration on tariffs, but me? Impregnable cities got captured, a never-changing sky got ripped open, and a long silent ocean began to speak. After all that, the core nations unanimously decided balloons are almost aerial bombs in disguise. And what about us? Well, this balloon of ours can't even fly.
Before the balloons were sent over, the flammable hydrogen got replaced with regular air for safety reasons, of course.
How safe and careful we Colombians are.
This sounds like a serious matter of national security, but you're discussing it with a retiree? Inside the state building, the finest reception hall in all of DC even.
It's hard to imagine retirement making things any different for Jara Booker Wilson. My hospitality is hardly befitting the once eternally shining star or Rhine Lab's former director of HR. These days, people seem more willing to be moved by a legend or miracle than by politics or promises. Even the most rational congressmen are no exception. If you're referring to the few meetings I had with Congressman Wayne, I believe you've already expressed your gratitude with those unique souvenirs from Trag. That was just a personal token of my gratitude. Besides, I later realized the scientists at the observation station must have sent you something similar before. And you show up and give it the right people the chance to put hydrogen back into Columbia's balloons. I'm sure I won't be the only one in line to thank you.
To my understanding, the most suitable people to do it will be those who made the balloon in the first place. I've stepped in on their behalf quite a few times. Researchers are as sincere as children. I can never bear to see their hopes dashed. You're right that retirement has made no difference to me whatsoever, though.
Of course, we all know how important Rhine is to you.
Look, Propeller Paradise, you don't even need binoculars to see it anymore. We'd only wait and see what they'll turn Columbia's balloons into.
Look, the high-altitude adaptive balloon in the shape of the president is one of our hot souvenirs. A thin film on the balloon surface automatically adjusts its molecular structure according to the environment, so it won't explode, even if it collides with the barrier.
I want one.
Think about it, miss. Just how many balloons could we fit under the barrier?
I remember agents are required to pass a university-level physics fundamentals exam.
Isn't this park's purpose to push the boundaries of physics itself?
Are you implying those samples and snacks on you are for research purposes? Satisfied chewing.
Just for disguised purposes. I'm about to buy some fresh cotton candy planets over at the Platform 4, a small vacuum chamber that can simulate the birth and development of Terra. Don't you think it's romantic? At least it's less boring than having to transport a special someone.
Special? You mean that Banshee?
Yeah, the one you were in charge of before.
So the Tin Man already knew?
He said you had an urgent mission to handle, so we'll take over evacuating the special individual.
Violet's in bad shape. You have to be very careful.
I know. An old Banshee has to be skilled in witchcraft now. We'll set up cognitive interference detectors to make sure nothing goes awry.
Cognitive interference? She's already being tormented by her shattered memories.
Man, where are my colleagues at? We have to evacuate all the park personnel from the levitation layer in the next half hour, or I won't get to buy any souvenirs. This is the last chance we'll get to see such weird stuff.
I think you should go buy your cotton candy planets. They won't be coming.
Huh? I'm at the roadway station? Right, I gotta go to Platform 4, or I'll miss out on the cotton candy.
Madam Viola, my apologies, but I only brought you 30 minutes. Act on your desires, you're free. Mercia, why are you being so nice, Viola?
The door is open, guiding me home. But where is Nasty?
Ah, this room of collections.
There's still an hour before the broadcast begins. Which necktie should I wear? Shh, it's Gustavo deciding who will make the opening speech. Drag it out any longer, we'll have no time to prepare the script. An hour won't be enough to list all my countless contributions to the park. There are also many organizations and departments to thank for all the help they've given me. They deserve the recognition. Everything will go as planned, surely? What am I thinking? We may not get along, but there's no way he'll side with a Kuranta. He's only known for a few days.
Garden Tannen. Oh my goodness, dude. Dude. And yeah, Mercy's doing a lot more than Fern did.
You're at the very end, Gustav never changes, using every trick up his sleeve to keep his lackeys in line, to make them do as they're told. We're like a bunch of kids getting all nervous over a little prize we deserve. How come 5-4 is not back yet? Wasn't it supposed to just check the office for any news? Who's that? A letter?
A love letter, perhaps? Just kidding.
I knew it! After hesitating for so long, he settles on the obvious choice, me! How much effort did I put in just to snatch the opportunity to transfer here? How much did I have to finagle to climb the ladder from my lowly admin job in 6 months? I'm the chief executive of Propeller Paradise. I'm the only one who can front it. Oh, he wrote a speech for me? The sly old fox never leaves anything to chance. My fellow Colombians, I'm Gordon Tannen, Chief Executive of Propeller Paradise. I'm sure I've kept you waiting in front of your screens for some time now. Now, it is with heavy heart that I announce the official cancellation of Air Expo Colombia. A major accident occurred in the park, and as the one in charge of the place, I bear an undeniable responsibility for this. Wait, an accident? Is this a mistake? This is a public apology?
Alert. Patrol complete. Letter not obtained. Part of the path has been blocked by a group of Terrans. Based on their travel route, they're presumably headed towards the Limitation Layer's experiment zone. At the same time, detecting several high-powered Originium products on the move, bearing cargo identification tags. They belong to Gordon Tannen.
My tags?
An apology letter and the news brought back by 5-4. This is no mischievous prophecy, but an undisputable reality. Shock, panic, anger, countless emotions fill Gordon's chest. Is Gustavo about to cause an accident on Propeller Paradise, and the expo all of Colombia's been eagerly waiting to see? For what reason? Why did he begin planning this? What sort of pawn is Gordon Tannen to him? Apology, amends. Gordon is all too familiar with these words. Ostracized by his colleagues and driven by his eccentric hobby, he was always violating the rules. The thin sheet of paper before him reflects the accumulation of work over the past 7 years. He wrote hundreds of self-reflection letters during his time at ATAO. He remembers every single time Gustav would demand an apology from him, and how he slid from defiance to compromise. The reward he deserved, the things he begged Gustav for, like a child, were accusations against him all along.
Did you get the speech, Tannen? So, can you do it?
His carefully chosen necktie tightens like a torture device.
All I have to do is do as I'm told.
He's just gonna accept it. Come on, be more rebellious. You know you want to be more rebellious here. Tarmac. There's only one destination. It is the rule. It is the rule, eh? What kind of rule is this gonna be?
任務があるのか？このところ書類仕事ばかりだったから、確かにそろそろ体を動かす
Too late, I already moved Moo.
Platform 3, secondary patrol complete. Target pod in position, no suspicious individuals detected. There's no one else on this little platform but us. What's the stitch on your end? The 4 pod's engines have undergone breakpoint testing, and the park's about to enter the Center City Net's range. Remember the official line to the public. The gathering is only temporary, and they can all return to their respective exhibit areas once the broadcast intro segment is done. Understood. You sure everyone's gone your end? The 10-man stress that we had to make sure all park personnel are safely evacuated before we send the operation signal. The main road was sealed off. An hour ago. The support platform's emergency jump pads are all shut, and the cable car routes are all diverted to only go in one direction last night, so no one's been able to get in. Better play it safe.
Railway station needs backup. The Rhine research assistant is blocking the access hub with a group of testers, and it's hard to get around them.
God, go back them up. It's crucial that we time this right. Every preparatory step has to be complete before the broadcast begins. What was that? Look over here. A soda bottle cap? Probably rolled off the table from the floating pod shaking. It's probably nothing. Let's go.
Phew. Mr. Aspen. What on earth is your obsession with that balloon? The couch has fallen off without you hanging onto that. I almost got squished flat.
I'm sorry, Miss Byrne, but I beg you to take me here just for this balloon.
Really? Mr. Aspen? Really? You have no idea how much effort I took slipping right out from under their noses and then getting you here.
Really sorry about that. Could you hand me that toolbox from the closet? The evacuation announcement came so suddenly, I didn't have the time to make sure the floating pods would be alright during the stream.
You want the lucky sissy beast on display at the expo that badly? Ignoring a public hearing, signing a temp contract with a tour guide with multiple charges under her belt, and helping her escape park security just so you could have her bring her back to a sealed-off levitation layer. It's a very important balloon. You guys, all nuts for the sky.
I'm drowning in debt here. The only way to clear it is to have the lucky sissy beast at the show and draw in investors.
Yeah, the sky will answer every future seeker and all that jazz. Propeller Paradise's slogan is plastered all over the place, trash can lids and the slums included.
Even if it's blind faith, I'm not going to give up now after coming this far. Phew, nothing wrong with the components. They'll last until the show ends. Let's go. Why is the door locked?
Wait, did you hear that?
I did. Don't tell me something's really up with my product.
No, I didn't mean the exhibit. From under our feet? Well. Grr, why isn't the line moving? Drag this out any longer and the broadcast is gonna start. Calm down. Mainlander guys are on their way to handle it. They've got someone surrounded. Seems like a Rhine lab researcher, judging by the uniform.
Let me through. The tree's hard drive and motherboard haven't been removed yet. Don't push your luck. Allowing the Rhine tree at the expo has been our biggest concession to Rhine Lab, and we've been even more generous as to let you copy the data for future research. What more do you want? I see 5 minutes. I promise I won't pull any tricks either. Hasn't the ATAO science consultant issued a report on the tree? It's completely harmless. No, all levitation layer personnel are to return to the ground to ensure the exhibits are finalized, and only return after the opening speech. Besides, the uplink cable cars aren't operating now, so there's no way you can reach the Rhine tree. It's at the highest point in the park. I didn't realize how much effort Director Lunaray put into this experiment until I saw the core code, and now I remember how she's never abandoned her dreams for the sky. Even if it only saves a little backtracking time later. I want to help her somehow. You have to let me through.
Aw, I like that. This guy's like, dang. She really cared about this. I need to get it for her.
Mr. Jagger, one more move and we'll have to resort to more special methods. Wait, the tree looks strange. Use the same excuse 10 minutes ago. No, it really looks weird. Look for yourself.
Where? The expo's about to open with the Colombian sun shining brightly. The crowd follows Sky's finger and spots a dazzling tree. The branches wrapped in special material should have been completely still, like tiny insects wrapped in resin. However, right here and now under the sunlight, the broken branches seem to glow green. Ooh.
Organic materials don't photosynthesize. The park handbook states, clearly it's common for exhibits to transform in high altitude environments. Rhine stuff doesn't do that, and it doesn't give you an excuse to go back up there. Going up there won't solve the problem. I have no idea what exactly is going on, but I know who does. Huh? He just left that easily. Levitation layer. 11 main platforms and 20 support platforms have been inspected.
Jammers and backup detonators have been installed in 9 smaller levitation pods, which will crash one by one when activated. Personnel evacuation is complete. Scouts have done multiple calculations of the fallout curve based on current wind direction and force, and have confirmed falling debris will not reach the square serving as the evacuation spot.
All areas progressing well. Gustav sends word from the Cloud Restaurant's cockpit that Propeller Paradise will be within DC intercity net range in 5 minutes. Your orders, sir. Anyone seen those 2 newbies from Bravo? The ones responsible for the Banshee, positioning shows that they're still on Platform 3. That's not in the plant operations range. Should we send someone to check it out? Seems like their mission's been taken over. Platform 3 is far from the detonation target, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. I'll handle it later. All teams, sync Kronos. Phase 2 begins now.
But the expo! I don't want to go crashing down. The jail cell window crops the sky into a tiny square. The ordinary yet mysterious tree, centerpiece of Nazi's research, and Rhine Lab's core project is now hidden from her view by strangely clothed figures and floating balloons. In a few minutes, the expo broadcast will begin, without Nazi's involvement. Her bone pen and mechanical devices were seized earlier, so all she needs to do now is to play the role of a helpless sinner. If Muses were here, she'd probably summon 8 water clones to scold her for being silly, but Nazi does not regret her decision, though there is one woman on her mind. Viola leaving the Convalis has always left her uneasy. If the chance came...
Who's that? Director Lunaray, you have to follow me to the tree platform. You're supposed to be keeping the device data and core code safe. What are you doing here? But the tree is growing now. Growing? That's impossible. So that's not supposed to happen. If it affects the levitation module, it'll definitely be dangerous to anyone on the ground. The levitation module runs independently, with a backup power supply that can last for 5 days. But the abnormality you mentioned, the only way to find out why it's happening is to go inside the tree. Come with me, Director. The security cams have been rigged with a delay fee that should buy us at least 20 minutes. I'm not sure why, but the cell's smart locks are unlocked, so now it's...
That's because the chief executive of Propeller Paradise opened them for you. Oh gosh, he's wearing the outfit!
Gordon? What's all that on you? A DIY high-altitude face shield, modified propellers, and a second-hand insulated spacesuit? Did you loot them from the park scrap and recycle plant? Your destroyed testimony at the hearing is still up on the park's bulletin board, but now you're helping us escape. Don't tell me you've had a sudden attack of conscience. Nasty, I got your bone pen and devices here. Sorry about the hearing. I'd rather stand in the defendant's dock with you than recite that prepared speech, after all. The confiscated devices were my goods anyways, so take the blame for that. Who are you? And what have you done with the Gordon Tannen?
Now it's Rhine's turn to be scared. Gordon got trolled earlier by Muses, and now Rhine Lab's being trolled by Gordon. It just all comes around.
What happened?
My dear citizens of DC, and those watching this live broadcast, it's my honor to introduce Propeller Paradise, an experimental park that is sure to leave its mark on Colombian history.
We don't have much time. Nasty, you've done deals with Gustav. I'm sure you won't doubt the intel I'm about to hand over. Your old boss is planning something with Maylander, correct? You're even sharper than I thought. Seeing the park's chief executive here when he's supposed to be making a speech in half an hour is proof enough. Friends, look at your windows, up at the sky. No amount of marketing bluster can compare to what you see with your own eyes. Where the future among the clouds is waiting for you. They want to can the expo with an accident that'll kill the future Propeller Paradise. They have no idea exactly what their plan is. If Maylander's involved, they'll move fast. What was that? God, am I seeing things? Something is falling from the levitation layer. Is that the Lucky Sissy Beast floating pod? No, there's more. 3, 4. As a part of the opening ceremony, they didn't mention this in the script. If they really come crashing down... Wait, the pod stopped falling? As if something is gripping them firmly. Huh? What was that? Oh! It seems that the tech companies have prepared a surprise that even got me.
We've just witnessed Propeller Paradise's breakthrough in the field of levitation with no need to prepare papers or data. This is only just the beginning.
No way, there's no emergency stop module, even in ongoing projects that could have done that.
Sky, your field measurements are more precise.
Where were the falling pods supposed to land? From visual estimates, they would have probably crashed into Platform 2, blocking the connecting lower layer tunnel. That's the only path we can take to the tree.
Gordon, I accept your apology, but I have no time for your plans.
The miracle was no stroke of luck, might have something to do with you and your invention.
Is that a threat?
Just my intuitive judgment on all rule breaking. I don't need your help with Gustave, but I do need a bargaining chip to make sure Propeller Paradise stays afloat when everything's done and dusted.
So, my tree.
Letting you handle something only you know how to handle is part of my plan.
Got it. Rhine Lab staff will cooperate with you. However, whatever it is you're planning to do, go to the tree at the first sign of danger, and I'll come to get you.
Everything ready, 5-4.
Preparations complete.
Let's go. I have an opening speech to make.
I like this rebellion. Oh shoot, there's one down there. It's okay. It's fine. 18, 19.
全員の行動力
No fear. Okay, 19, 20.
いい
I just gotta make sure I don't accidentally overload this thing.
何か考えた
Something I fear doing at this point. Okay. So far, so good. I lied. It's like, wow, so far, so good. First thing. So nice, so amazing. Whatever.
危険な戦場はどこだ？ここでは何も起きていない。指定の位置に向かう。一番厄介な敵はどれだ？私が相手をし。
Myrtle, please live. I said please.
この程度ひるんではいないか。少しは骨があるよ。所詮そこまでだろう。
I wonder how this will work. Or how this will do. I just need to hit from a distance, so it's fine if it's kind of chaotic. He just gotta set her up. I thought it might have been default, but oh well, I just haven't used her enough. I just wanted an extra defender. Okay, the platform's too heavy, but it's okay. Since all I really need is to activate skills. That's good enough by me. Oh, this is gonna be chaotic.
決まったか
Okay, reach from a distance, it's fine. Get the tree, get the porta potties. Oh, it's the last one, it's not scary. When it comes to the tree anyways. Yeah, no fear.
What's going on? The jammer and our backup detonators aren't working. The transmitted signals show the devices are all activated, but the 9 target pods or engines have stopped. Somehow, the received signals are all messed up. Even pods without transmitters attached are sending signals. Get a team to investigate this. Have them remove all traces of our work from earlier and retrieve the transmitters. Captain, that's equivalent to calling the operation a failure. You forget how we do things in Mainlander. If reality happens to significantly deviate from our plan, cease all action immediately. We're not some rankwood espionage flick heroes trying to be tough. Seems like someone is biased against blockbuster hits. We don't get reshoots. It's not as if we have no other choice. Don't send anyone to the pods. It's probably the Banshee's incantation that's keeping those toys from falling straight down. But Nasty should be in jail right now, right? She's not a Banshee I'm referring to. The incantation has fundamentally changed how the levitation layer facilitates. Facilities are connected. The malfunctioning receivers prove this. You're telling me the Banshee's incantation is able to connect to the levitation layer's power supply structure, send signal and synchronize commands? That's the craziest thing I've heard. Nasi designed the entire park's conduits and systems herself after all. She didn't become one of the Rhine Lab 10 solely on her engineering talent. Though if we utilize the upper level's power grid and detonate just one engine, that will cause the entire layer to fall. The entire layer? So you mean the park will connect with DC in 25 minutes? We'll have to present a reverse fieldwork display to Propeller Paradise. Change of plans. Those on the upper layer mobilize personnel and connect the support platforms surrounding the levitation layer to the common power grid. Those in the lower layer calculate the crash zone and prepare for evacuation measures at any moment. I'll let Gustav know of this, and we'll have the admin staff coordinate with us to delay the opening speech. Also, send a group to the jail to confirm Nasi's position, and deploy at least 3 elite squads to the elevator square and any ascendable routes. It's only a matter of time before she returns to the levitation layer. Are you not going to join? Oh, I have to go supervise an agent of mine. Maylander has quite the troublesome evaluation systems after all. I'll join the rest of you once I'm done. Alright teams, move out.
What you planning, Tin Man? A giant broadcast screen hangs in the Cloud restaurant, incessantly switching between gaudy company logos and the newest levitation devices, while Oakley's agitated voice booms from the speakers. The lower left of the screen is a real-time feed from the control room. A small red dot representing Propeller Paradise flashes, heading for Max DC. 2 cameras stand on a cloud-like carpet, pointing at a lone chair like a defendant's stock awaiting Gordon Tannen's attendance.
You're late. Why did you come dressed like that? There's no time to prepare for a new outfit. We have only 20 minutes until your speech. The tie on my ATO uniform was too tight. Hey, I remember 6 years back when you just got that set of clothes after your promotion to a full-time role. I personally adjusted it for you, so giddy from joy you were. You told me that I had a lot to learn to be worthy of that uniform, and when I stayed in the same entry-level role for the next 6 years. No newbie's first skill is writing self-reflection letters. It's not that I've never regretted helping you into that uniform. And what about now? This outfit, the blame for causing the accident. Who put them on me? Oh, so you figured it out? You seized 2 crates of my goods that night I was exposed. I thought you were helping me dispose of them, but I found out they ended up in the hands of you and Maylander. I bet this apology speech wasn't written that night either, was it, sir? Go on. Importing originating devices into Colombia clearly violates ATO regulations, and security is compromised. I'll be the sin eater for the whole park. So you still think this is a personal grudge? Am I wrong? I've always been a slum boy to you. A bad little rule breaker. As I climbed through the ranks of my own effort, you only came to hate me more. Your own effort? Do you honestly think a useless bum with disciplinary records and hundreds of self-reflection letters on file could manage to transfer to the highly coveted levitating experimental park on his own? What? You disappoint me, honestly. Even now you still have only a superficial understanding of our current situation. Your little investments, achievements, and results from the very moment you stepped under Propeller Paradise were all gifts from me to you. Gordon Tannen, have you ever wondered how you managed to procure foreign originating products so easily? You knew about my dealings from the start. Even your stock lists were meticulously picked by my hand. The Trident Arts units from Lithuania are secret equipment used by the Gesellschaft Watcher for military training. The power shields used by Kashmirian campaign knights were disassembled into 3 parts, and you put them into the exhibits of 3 different companies. And the Originium engines and arts cores sourced from a foreign military equipment. If the park blows up because of them, you aren't the brightest bulb on the chandelier, but with a good eye, Propeller Paradise is indeed a giant testing ground, but it's not testing those toys in the sky. Give it about 10 more minutes, and the sky fever you helped ignite will burn into Colombian flames. A fury for foreign spies.
Wow, Gustavo, that's what you wanted to do?
The countless exhibits in the sky with their core technologies inside them, they're all military reserves for countering our foreign foes. Naturally, Propeller Paradise will become a base for arms testing. Military? I thought you would have considered ATO's interests at least. We'll always be of one mind when we stand for Colombia. What matters is our country, man. So this apology speech is your stepping stone to a new role. I might even be able to pull some strings and get a new role in the Department of Defense. Well, the honesty, not worried I'll sabotage a speech. The fact that you've shown up here with the speech in hand means you've already made the wise choice. To be honest, I wasn't sure you would make a qualified piece on the board, but now, the little monster beside you has answered the question for me. Seem as a rich love their cigars and watches, simply enjoying the sense of superiority with their little hobbies. 5-4 isn't a toy to cater to sky fever. Sure, but you're no longer the reckless young man, only concerned with invention and modification. ATO set down your edges, educated you in the ways of the land, made you think to operate within the rules you set yourself. It made you like me. Go, get your little monster ready too. Let's have it join your public apology. It's a fitting symbol of what Propeller Paradise represents. Gimmicky, kitschy, useless, an absolute waste.
Ooh, I know he's getting pissed off. He's like, I wanted this to work. Propeller Paradise is supposed to be awesome. Everyone's looking forward to Air Expo Colombia. Like, I'm looking forward to it. Gosh darn it. I hate this plan of his. Stinky stop. Altitude readings are stable, and the pod show no sign of falling any further. Well, the engines aren't making any strange sounds. We should be safe now, right?
50 meters. Lucky Sissy Piece pod fell 50 meters.
What's that, Aspen?
6 months ago, I was at the crowded registration center going through the paperwork. I was first in line and chose the most conspicuous levitation pod for my Lucky Sissy Beast. The closer you are to the star pod, the more luck you get. That's what everyone in the park thinks, even if your pod is only a few inches higher than your neighbor's. I lined up overnight just to get a spot closer to the sky. I hired over 100 testers to secure an exhibit spot and got smuggled contraband just to keep my Lucky Sissy Beast running. Miss Bard, I can tell you're no fan of the competition, but this is the basic law of Propeller Paradise. I'm sure you've seen for yourself in your chores.
I get a list of companies and corporate data updated daily, and there are people who just complain about their terrible lives only to head right back to their misery.
You only got here a month ago. To you, this is just a place you happen to visit. To us, it's our only path to a future, and only a few will survive. Maybe you think I'm just a desperate, sick man talking out of his ass. But when the levitation platforms rise alongside the thousands of pods, we just feel the excitement coursing through our veins for no reason, don't we? I poured everything I had into the Lucky Sissy Beast, and that's what I have to win this gamble.
Rhine lab researcher.
I knew it. Even though the incantation can link multiple platforms and pods through the power lines, its range is still limited when calculated outward from the tree. Barian, send a signal to Sky's team. Tell them we found the pattern of the power connections. Barian. Ugh.
Oh no!
The scientific mind is truly brilliant, don't you agree? Thanks for helping us locate our mission objective. Inform our engineering experts to stop their research. Centering on the platform beneath my feet, had the personnel stationed at the perimeter immediately cut all backup power and attempt to connect the supply line to alternative methods. Also, it is highly probable that Rhine Labbers had discovered our plan. 2 researchers were already found in platform 4, but have been dealt with. All patrols speed up. Report anyone you see ASAP. Your colleagues in the broadcasting studio will buy us some time by switching the camera feeds. Act fast. Huff. Those agents are effing persistent. Can those Mainlander guys fly or something? How are they everywhere? Good thing we lured them away, and there's no one here. No. Oop. 5 testers and 2 Rhine labbers found on support platform 17. They've all been dealt with. I will be sent to detention on the lower level 5 minutes from now. The operation is going smoothly. They lack the numbers, and they are scattered like headless houseflies. While everyone excels in their own fields, and they lack communication equipment or anyone to direct them. What about Nasty? She escaped from the tower. She escaped from the lower level cells 10 minutes ago, but no contact has been noted between her and any other staff. She knows the park structure. We're at a disadvantage with such a tight time window. But hide and seek is not a single-player game. We'll continue our patrols. A smattering of testers and researchers will not significantly affect our operation. Stay wary and report back promptly. Wasn't there one more person here just now?
Phew, you didn't notice me. Thanks for pulling me back, Mr. Jagger.
You're welcome. You good?
Truth be told, seeing that others knocked down so easily still has my knees feeling like spaghetti.
Can you run?
I can.
Let's split up here then. No time to slow down.
Thanks, Sky. I'm here, sir.
Wipes pipe. Let me have a smoke first, Mary. You can look at the screens while I'm at it.
Mercia fixes her gaze on the dozen or so monitors on the wall and sees the high-altitude elevator, the floating platforms, the roadway station. Almost every inch of Propeller Paradise is displayed on the screens. The bright and bizarre structures in the sky seem to pop up out from the screens, a strange sight in the dark room, as if Mercy was attending a postmodern art exhibition instead. This place...
What of it?
Nothing. I just didn't think Propeller Paradise would have such a sealed-off space.
Reminds you of our interrogation room.
So, may I know why you're looking for me?
Look at the upper right monitor. You heard the explosion earlier, didn't you? The nearly 10 floating pods connected to the Rhine lab tree should have been smoking heaps of scrap metal in the waste by now. Mary, I'm sure you know what sort of force keeps them in the air still.
An incantation. I kept a secret from you, sir.
Our colleagues at the Emergency Management Council have only just captured the dangerous criminals responsible for the explosion, and now they have to clean up the mess caused by her own people's negligence. You've seen it. The Banshee's incantation has changed the way the levitation layer connects to the other platforms and pods. Any other incident happens, and it'll affect more than just 9 pods. The situation is dire.
Sir, I shouldn't be speaking to you just like this as a secretary or Mainlander's agent, but I understand my colleagues and I know how the council works. Just now, I was looking at the surveillance footage, and they were busy munching on cotton candy. Inefficient methods of deception like that should be forbidden on such serious occasions. I've completed my mission on Propeller Paradise, both monitoring Mr. Tannen and the many tech companies and exposing their secrets, but now I see. These missions were never to ensure the expo ran smoothly. Be it the secret from the start, the explosion just now, or the so-called other incident you mentioned, they've all been part of your plan, yes? Ooh?
Haha, you're keen, you pass.
So what exactly?
Let's sit down before we continue.
Big Larry, Old Curly, and Lil Mo. Come sit down.
Come on, you 3. Some manners will be good.
Is this a Mainlander trial for a traitor, or... They're having so much fun with her. Look at them.
Or have I finally found time to handle a junior's troublesome evaluation process? Don't worry, I'm just an old fart who wishes to impart some wisdom to the younger generation.
I'm curious what that wisdom is.
Oh, Mary, I'm sure you'll hate this rotten nonsense. 1 year ago, Rhine Lab submitted a proposal to DC, a project developing tech from Galeria Stellaria, and Congressman Street was inspired to expand the project for the whole country. Into the whole country. His secretary burned the midnight oil to prepare a slideshow showcasing what the congressman saw in his dreams after having seen the sky over Trimonts being torn apart.
Holding and biting on Mercia's hat. Foundation stones built on the clouds. walking while twirling Mercia's bow. Rain or shine, it'll all be under our feet. Swinging midair while holding onto Mercia's hair, tour groups leaving the star pod one by one as the twin moons are covered with Colombian flags.
And so on, and so on. Congress voted. How did that turn out?
273 to 65. More than 80% voted yes. Ha!
And the government is eager to water and fertilize these fantasies. I'm sure you know better than I do just how many companies and testers were scrambling to get into Propeller Paradise at any cost after that, Mary.
Too many to count.
Nearly half of the companies in Colombia have added a sky-related department, and even air fryer manufacturers have been trying to add clouds to applicable product lines.
Tin Man, don't forget about the stocks. There are over 200 subcategories of sky-related concept stocks, with the longest registered validity period extending 300 years into the future. Companies willingly apply for loans with interest rates several times higher than the prevailing market rate just to secure a spot in Propeller Paradise.
I remember looking through Gordon's case files and coming across a certain Aspen who brought contraband goods from him just to clear inspections. Now, it wasn't because he didn't know the law. It was because he was discovered, had sold his family assets, and was burdened with a hopeless mountain of debt. The so-called Lucky Sissy Beast is a high-stakes gamble that would decide the rest of his life. What a shame.
A shame?
He used to run a grocery store in a town by the shipping routes near DC, and even now there might have been some pioneers out there still using the tools he peddled. But here he is with this invention, the floating revolving bar where the people turned, but not the beer. What else can you even do with that other than invite your foes for a drink? Simply put, what he's done is akin to a student frantically writing compliments in the margins, hoping the teacher will give him a perfect score. Take the future as a real test. Who's going to be the examiner? You, me, the generals at the DOD, or maybe Congress? Maybe it'll be Kashimirish, who just equipped all their campaign knights with power armor, or Lithuanian with a recent addition of the basic arts tactics course to all school curricula, or perhaps Ursus, with its growing army, their mighty force that's left their minds empty. Could it be Ager, currently shelling the Iberian coast with artillery along with the sea monsters? Among these parties, I fear it is the sea monsters who are most likely to visit a floating revolving bar.
Sir, you mean to say that the Colombians' fanaticism for the sky is completely meaningless?
Compared to what's happening everywhere else right now, I'm afraid so. Colombia has always been driven by fanaticism. I'm sure you're crystal clear in this, given your background, Mercia. Without a fanatical drive for freedom, we wouldn't have had our frontier rebels 80 plus years ago, and we Colombians would still be living under the Victorians' heel. Without a lust for wealth, our mass pioneer movement would not have happened, and nearly half of Colombian land today would remain an untraversable wilderness even for the strongest burden beasts. But this time, it's just a waste.
So you think Propeller Paradise should take the blame?
Why would I? It's already accomplished its mission perfectly. Well, it's one step away. It stirred up Colombians' zeal more effectively than I could have ever hoped to. Now, it just needs to redirect it.
Through its ruin?
Through it being destroyed.
By who? Who else in this park could? Wait, Mr. Tannen's goods, smuggled from all across Terra. Kashimirish, Lithuanian, Sargon, and even Castel.
They'll become weapons planted by foreign spies deliberately intended to ruin Colombia's display of achievements and destroy people's fantasies for taking to the skies. 80 plus years later, the Colombians' rage will be reignited once more. The Kashmirisians might not want to see their tax money turned to knight armor, while Lithuanians' children might just run away from boring basic arts tactics classes. But Colombians, we have our fervor. As we move to the future, we move forward together, tens of millions strong. As long as we can direct the zeal into a proper path.
And sure, you can show what you make of it. Collate our wills and seize the truth of everything. Sir, I remember you telling me your story. I thought you always hated war. We know that Tim is not the type to do these things, or do things meaningless, or simply because he wants. making air expo to be a weapon testing ground. He views it as a necessity. It's akin to what Chirag did, but the difference, the intent might be on the offensive than defensive. All other countries are developing weapons on their respective nations, and Colombia is doing the same, but to not fall behind. Like, if it's just in case, it's not as bad, but if they're preparing because they want to actually do war, oh no. Like, if anything, prepare for all the insanity, like, of course, the oceans, the extraterrestrials, the collapsals. But come on, I like the whimsy that Colombia has right now. I think it's adorable. Let them have some fun.
It's been tens of thousands of years. The number of lost souls in my hand is no less than the casualties of a military campaign. The reason I didn't burn in Castle's furnace then is that I hate meaningless sacrifices. But this time, the arms race might just be the beginning. You and I know it won't end there. Just like how the Great Expansion didn't end with the discovery of some ore.
So the sacrifices Colombia needs for this competition will be enough with just this park, correct?
I told you before, right? This is a whole bunch of rotten nonsense. The Mainlander Foundation didn't have to explain all this to you, my dear agent. But the day will come when you have to accept the truth, even if you don't agree with it. Don't forget your family name, Mercia. You're Celine.
Nah. This is... The elevators connecting to the park's upper and lower levels have been sealed off, and the only roadway station leading to the tree is also out of service. Nastia has exhausted herself just by getting here. Floating pods by her side are riddled with cracks, black smoke billowing from within. A sign their core energy modules have been destroyed, and they should have all crashed to the ground. But the pods stubbornly remain amongst the clouds, piecing together a precarious path as if an invisible pair of hands are holding them up.
Nasty, update the others. I will get her.
The agent rushes towards her, but just as he takes a step forward, the bricks under his feet shift.
Ah.
Well...
Target sighted. Location, Flying Donut Station. Requesting backup. We tried to intercept her, but something's up here.
Speaks in sarcasm. Disorder. Nasir recalls a river at the mouth of the convalescence of the Banshees, still and calm, where even a child could safely row a boat on their own. However, unassisted intruders find the dense forest on both sides constantly shifting positions like a mobile labyrinth, with the distant riverbank always hidden beyond the thick mist. After momentary silence, Nasty steps out of the pod and into the empty sky. Brick and stone immediately form a floor beneath her. Like, this is actually... It would be a smart way to get people to start researching weapons more. If the intent is to make the nation stronger, that is smart. It is a smart way to do it. But I don't like this method. Speaks in sarcasm. Disorder. Especially with the way they're planning it, there's not going to be any casualties. Just money and hope. Lots and lots of hope. A path held together by an incantation. Convella's banshees often isolate themselves from outsiders or decorate their own courtyards with this method. She also used the same tactic to momentarily stall Saria back at the Ring Lab. This is a path specially paved just for her. To her surprise, the whole area centered on the tree has been reconstructed by the incantation, but she fails to find the caster within the tree's core among its roots. Only the roots of the tree are breathing, just as always. Please verify your credentials. Nasi Lunare, Director of Engineering, Rhine Lab. Nasi dashes towards the roots. She must confirm if any abnormal changes have happened while she was away. This is what was left of the vivarium, and the secret Rhine Lab has been protecting at all costs. No matter how the unrest in the park ends, it is the only bargaining chip in Nasi's hand. She touches the roots, allowing data to flow into her fingertips and gather in the branches around her waist. Mills has always teased Nasi about being a human computer, and she always took it as a praise. In the current situation where biotechnology is fused with Banshee witchcraft, her body is perhaps the best data capable to use. The branches begin to vibrate quickly, a sign of the device overclocking. Almost simultaneously, Nasi feels some sort of temperature shift. Not the chill of condensation, but the heat of... not the heat of electricity, but... body heat? She experiences a strange feeling out of nowhere. Here and now, she is no longer director of Rhine Lab Engineering Section, checking if the device is still operating normally, but a banshee touching another of her kind. Just like so many years ago when that woman held her own hand and taught her how to blow a leaf whistle. Nasi abruptly looks up. Bella? Pains murmurs. Elated murmurs. Oh. You know, I'm digging the new look. Hello, hello. Nasty, my child. You're back. She gives me corpse bride vibes. I don't want to fight her. I hope she's not the final boss. Roosting grounds, a Phi-MD sharpens its beak on the branches. It tells its head to look down at the land, and someone there seems to be looking at it, or looking up at it. Okay, there's only one exit. I'm surprised. Extremely surprised by that, actually. Huh. Nothing but incantation medics. That's funny. Confirm. Okay, no fear, no pain. This will be fine. Worst case, I bring a friend. Report. All pods in the levitation layer are now connected to the detonation web, with people on the lower levels evacuating people from the square. People are very passionate about the exhibition. Things will take some time, but it will not delay our plans. We will detonate the levitation layer as soon as the propeller paradise docks with the district. Any movement from Rhine? We've taken 23 into custody. A dozen are still at large on the platforms. We have control of the 8 observation points. Those people are going in and out of the exhibit areas. The exhibit area and the ropeway stations. No special Rhine equipment other than standard maintenance gear. They're just playing hide and seek. No plan B. Keep an eye on them. They don't know the details of Mainlander's plan, nor do they have any means of communication. Any last gasp effort is doomed to fail. Understood. The outline of Max DC, the most vibrant nomadic city in Colombia, is already visible from the ropeway station's waiting area. The agents have not had a chance to enjoy the view of Propeller Paradise until now. With an excellent visibility, all the elaborate facilities of the levitation layer are brimming with vitality. Pods float in midair like aquatic creatures. Floating botanical units line up orderly between small platforms, forming a power grid that supports the entire layer. Wait, where did you say Rhine's people were? Exhibit area and ropeway stations. Where exactly? Show me. Looking at their movements, there's no way that they can reach the platform where that tree is, or any other company's pods. Could it be they're not trying to take back their turf at all? But Rhine's people, the testers, the company reps, they all seem to be flying around blindly in the dark. What's the point of it all? The agent casts a casual glance at the nearest planting unit. The unremarkable Rhine creation stands quietly. He suddenly realizes that the warning lights on the edges are easily visible even during the day, and they have been blinking regularly for quite a while now.
spotters reports that all Rhine people have disappeared from sight. No, they didn't disappear. They're going in the same direction. There's a pattern to the movement. Everybody, listen up. Destroy all the planting units you see along the way. They're not decorations. Rhine is using them to communicate. Cut off the exhibit area from all the roadway stations and find every one of those people playing hide and seek. Find out where they're heading. What in terror are they thinking?
I'm rooting for you, Rhine.
You've been looking outside the window for a while.
You said you must win your gamble, and you have a reason.
Yes.
I'm in the middle of gamble, too.
I have a rough idea what's going on in Propeller Paradise, given the look on your face and the freefall that we just experienced. You wouldn't run this kind of risk with me for no reason, but there's nothing I can offer you now except...
You
want a lucky sissy beast?
You could say that. I want the contraband that Gordon Tan sold you. Coming to the broadcast room to bother me when you should be preparing your own speech? You should have a thick hide, Mr. Tannen.
I would have done a long time ago if all my enemies refused to work with me ever again.
Work with you? I'm afraid I can't. Mail-Under has a laundry list of violations that I committed during my career. I don't want to spend the rest of my days giving prison tours.
Neither are you looking for a peaceful life. Besides, my proposal has something to do with Maylander. There's no better vantage point than here in Propeller Paradise. Oakley's too excited to notice, but I doubt you would miss what's going on.
Well, if I gotta say it, the broadcaster screens on the levitation layer are switching too quickly. They say it's because they're doing testing, which I'm not convinced about. There are a dozen testers in the square whom I don't recognize. They don't look like they're taking a stroll. They look like they're patrolling.
Like they know that danger is impending.
Are you trying to trick me into another plot?
There's a plot afoot in Propeller Paradise, alright, and that's a fact. It's also a fact that I won't let Gustav make a mockery out of this place in front of all of Columbia. You have 10 seconds, yes or no?
What are the chances of success?
10%.
Doesn't sound like a gamble you take.
I don't have a choice with that old fox sitting across the table, holding all the cards.
A plan almost certain to fail. Interesting. Tell me about it.
I need you to convince as many people as possible to return to the levitation layer and retrieve the original equipment and arts units on this list.
All contrabands that you sold?
They have far more potential than just sitting under the spotlight.
You want to...
Escape and take all of Propeller Paradise with me.
I never thought I would root for Gordon, but I'm rooting for... I hate Gustav more. Like, you know what, Gordon? Like, I like you way more than Gustav, like, for reals. Gustav and Maylander have never intended to allow the exhibition to go ahead. The opening ceremony was just a smokescreen. The levitation layer will fall a second time soon, but miracles don't happen a second time.
The lucky sissy beast can't afford to start over.
Neither can most startups in Propeller Paradise.
Escape and take all of Propeller Paradise.
It's the only way to save both Propeller Paradise and the people on the lower level. Propeller Paradise has been traveling on the Barrenlands for 7 days. Fuel is short, and the plate is operating in safe mode. The basic propulsion module is not enough to change its direction.
But the arts unit in the Lucky Sissy Beast got was just a transformation stabilizer. It can't supply enough energy to turn a plate.
Correct. But it wasn't the only item that Tannen smuggled.
You mean, get all the contraband devices and build a makeshift propulsion module to make the plate deviate from its course?
Not deviate, make an about face.
About face? Have you any idea what you're saying? It's the direction of the borders.
True, the procedures for cross-border travel is a little complicated.
It would be treason. No, I can't go to jail. People need to see Lucky Sissy Beast on the broadcast. My wife in Northville needs to see it.
In the interest of full disclosure, I must inform you that people won't see Lucky Sissy Beast on the broadcast, whether we succeed or fail.
No.
I'm sorry, but I'm taking the unit, whether you give it up voluntarily or not. We don't have time.
What's the point? We can't even leave the pod.
Someone has unlocked it remotely.
What?
You see the floating botanical units outside the window? 3 flashes of a distress call. The current message is cycled after 5 continuous seconds of being lit. Right now, 3, 4, 5, 7 flashes. Looks like the other units on the list have been retrieved. Everyone is rendezvousing on platform 7. Wait, the light went out.
What does that mean?
It means Mayliner knows what's up. We're in danger. Yet Olymine Quest appeared, helped this old banshee get sidetracked by a side quest helping Oakley and Aspen. Mr. Aspen, you can either come with me on your feet or you can go to sleep right here, right now. People like us never get to choose, do we?
Sit down.
Gustave looks at the Savra, who has butted heads with him for 7 years, who now sits stiffly in a chair, like a potato wrapped in foil. He knows young officers well. They're angry, flamboyant, unhappy about everything, and frustrated about being restricted by rules. In the end, however, they all sit in the same chair that rectifies their young spine and becomes a proper member of the upper stratum of Colombian society. As Gordon Tannen will...
Once Maylander's plan succeeds, the broadcast room will switch over to cloud. Don't screw up. Put your usual attitude away. Sound sincere, devastated. It's propeller paradise you built. It won't be hard to stir the appropriate emotions. Tomorrow, that sorry face of yours is going to be on the front page of every Colombian newspaper. Look the part, won't you?
I would hate that.
And stop staring at your little freak. I know, you don't want to be Repeller Paradise's sin eater, sharing the same spotlight as Nasty. But your little hodgepodge trinket isn't going to save you. So I'm sitting in Gordon Tannen's defendant seat. Yes, I can follow you to the DOD once I apologize according to the script. Do as you're told and you'll rise quickly through the ranks. Yeah, guess what? I don't give a shit. What was that? I don't like the seat. It makes my skills itch.
Broadcast countdown. Cloud Restaurant, stand by.
Broadcast now? Impossible.
Here comes your favorite part of this event. Ooh.
Impossible. No movement on the levitation layer. Did Maylander screw up? Who's operating the broadcast?
3, 2, 1.
Do it. 5-4. Yes, sir. What? Ugh.
You go, 5-4. As the broadcast cuts to the Cloud Restaurant, Spacefin 054 leaps at an unprepared Gustave, pinning him to the ground. What a screen to start off on for the broadcast! The screen in the restaurant lights up, and Gustave sees his own face, writhing in pain and shock. He knows that his face is being displayed on every screen in Propeller Paradise. His contingency plan flashed before his eyes. But Mainlander's plan is in its final phase, leaving little room for distractions. His communicator lies in pieces on the ground, destroyed by Spacefin 054. Gordon stretches his neck and wrists, crushes the defendant's seat with his foot, and leisurely lies down on the sofa next to it.
Oh, that felt good. By the way, tomorrow, that sorry face of yours is going to be on the front page of every Colombian newspaper. Look the part, won't you? What, you didn't expect to be immobilized by a little hobby made to feel sky fever? You're the elder statesman of ATAO, planning a new chapter at the Department of Defense. You made the rules of Colombia when you're young, and you continue to serve your country, even after your retirement. Woohoo! First rate, ain't you? Maybe you've grown into thinking that your enemies will always use the rules to fight back, in smart and clever ways. Did you forget that Gordon Tannen is a bandit who never gives a shit about the rules, a piece of trash obsessed with his toys? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. You don't even recognize 5-4, even though I didn't change its voice module.
Hello, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Arts Units, and Originium, at your service. To check the progress of an application, press 1. To report a safety risk, press 2. To be connected to an operator, press 0.
An ATAO answering machine? I said Spacefin 054 wasn't a rich man's cigar, and I won't be smug just because it obeys the rules I set down. 7 years ago, I sat on a tiny chair that made my ass hurt, writing my first self-reflection letter late at night, wondering if I should quit. Answering machine 054 started giving me an unusual noise, and I racked my brains trying to figure out the problem. I started studying every arts unit and originium device that passed through my hands, just to give Phi-4 the ability to operate, communicate, and think on its own. You think the hundreds of self-reflection letters I wrote were the symbol of my submission, but Phi-4 is a real culmination of my 7 years at ATAO. You're full of crap. You didn't learn the trinkets. You're full of crap. You didn't learn the tricks of bureaucracy for your little invention. You think I've never seen you negotiate or threaten? Arrogant, vain, ambitious. I know them when I see it. I can hear shadows of my own speeches even now as you're talking to me. I never thought I was perfect. Maybe I will never be able to get rid of the bad habits that I learned from you. They disgust me, but they weren't mistakes. My only mistake was to define my transactions as smuggling. I shouldn't have allowed myself to accept the rules that have taken form. Rules that don't make sense. Foolish boy, you don't understand what's at stake. Listen, old slug. I don't care what high and mighty reasons you have. Propeller Paradise isn't supposed to be a breeding ground of war. Sure, kinetic engines and high-powered arts units could become powerful weapons, but what they're supporting now is a dream of life in the sky. Until Propeller Paradise docks with the district, I'm its chief executive, the man who built this little piece of heaven that still has a semblance of freedom. I will decide whether it should be destroyed or whether it should escape.
You go, Gordon.
Take his passcode 5-4.
Yes, sir.
It's no use. The central control console is locked. You can't stop the plate from docking with the district, even if you have my passcode. Who said anything about stopping? What? I said escape. Not only did the former head of the ATAO not disable his passcode when he retired, he used the security access it granted to disable the urban identification code system on the Colombian border. Cool, isn't it? You're going to commit treason for this stupid, pointless children's playground? Ha, you're right, you didn't learn a single thing from me. Let me remind you that the Propeller Paradise is running out of fuel. You can't operate the plate's steering system, and you don't have enough energy. Even when you're pinned to the ground by the robot I built, you somehow manage to forget that I've always been an inventor. I hope they deliver the goods in time.
I like this. Platform 7, Propeller Paradise Experimental Park. The sound of rotary motors has never been so clear. The skies are clear, overly pristine self-cleaning artificial clouds combined with natural clouds to form a wondrous scene, but the people on the platforms are oblivious to it. Some 50 Propeller Paradise guards and mainlander agents block off every passage and cable connections, forming an impregnable cordon line with their bodies and weapons. Beneath their feet, the classical black and white tiles form a chessboard, the two sides separated by a 10-meter-long air passage. The eyes of the agents are fixed on the support platform on the other side of the passage. The Rhine staff and testers who had at one point disappeared from sight now assemble there.
Platform 7, the analysis was correct. This is where the hide-and-seek converges. Our people are ready, but there are more of them than expected. They took out our guys to the broadcast room. The intel was not accurate. We're putting in everyone we have. Strength in numbers alone isn't enough. Be on your guard. They have an advantage when it comes to the new weapons and the lay of the land. Propeller Paradise is about to dock with DC. Do not let anyone pass. Use force as necessary. I'll take responsibility. Yes, sir. 6 elite squads.
We have numbers, but the guys on the other side are...
Hard to tell people to keep going when they're exhausted. Get the word out to the others. Jelena, anyone who's too tired to move, give someone else their core components. Pick up any hover unit, and stay behind to guard the support unit. Support platform.
You're betting on them being worried about unknown new products?
I hope it works.
Phew, made it.
Are you sure you want to go this way when it's like this?
Yes, this is the only way to Cloud. Take my parachute, things may get dangerous.
What about you?
Me? Bern gazes at the mainliner blockade with interest, as though she's going to meet an old rival. The camera drones left Platform 7 half an hour ago. Nothing that is about to happen will be seen in the broadcast room. Everyone knows that conflict is inevitable. Neither side wants to delay. Their eyes are fixed on each other. Everyone is waiting for a sign. My tour is waiting for my signal. Ooh. Suddenly, a yellow and black warning flag is raised. A young feline woman leaps from the crowd, loudspeaker in hand. first day stuck into Propeller Paradise, a kind guide told me that no one in this place can be stopped. Even the sky is no longer off limits. From the exhibits to the underground lab, I memorized every strange and curious invention, the complex ideas behind them, and hundreds of thousands of words of descriptions. I could tell you who made the flying toaster above our heads, its model, and the generation. I could go on and on about how wonderful they are, but to be completely honest, I find the levitating plates less interesting than the sunset of Bleach Wasteland. Then I remember what my father used to say to me, a story is always more interesting than an explanation. I've had many frustrating experiences in the years that I worked as an independent guide. There's nothing wrong with the seeking truth, but many people subconsciously disparage exaggeration, inspiration, and dreams yet to come true. I swore that I would never again label things that I've never seen for myself as impossible, and laugh at my own family with my neighbors as I did a few years ago. It was not until the day my father died that I truly understood what he said. If Propeller Paradise needs a guide, then I would rather tell the people of Colombia about the people I met here, about their stories. Rice bush. Huh? A cobbler from Bunker Hill whose dream was to leave a footprint on each of the twin moons so that everyone who looks up with a telescope would see his shop's logo on the shoe prints. There's no bigger billboard in the sky after all. Owen Fredericks. I'm here. Hardware store owner who wants to put his own screw on the second ring lab and earn a spot for his family when space colonization becomes reality.
Hey, never hurts to be prepared for the future.
Aspen.
I'll tell it myself. Aspen, grocer from Northville. After being tricked into taking out exploitative loans, I divorced my wife and left home so the creditors wouldn't go after my family. My wife and I came up with the name Lucky Sister Beast together. We haven't spoken to each other in 2 years. She was worried sick when I left. I promised that the name Lucky Beast, the Lucky Sissy Beast, would be on TV so that she know I'm safe. Now, I know the exhibition was one big fat lie, but I wanted to at least see this red balloon with the Lucky Sissy Beast logo on it, even if all the pods crash.
Aspen, and all of you. The things you want, whether they're based in reality or just a pipe dream, whether they're the result of blind conformity or superstition, they're much more important than Melander and Gustav think they are. Run, jump, fly. We'll overcome everything that tries to block our path and change us without ever trying to understand us. We're the ones who decide Propeller Paradise's path. Fern dashes forward like a foul beast, loudly blasting her signal as the rest of the pack follows behind, charging at the mainliner blockade. Aw, I'm rooting for them. Exhibits fly over the heads of the pushing and squeezing crowd, carrying all kinds of contraband towards the sky. Absurd, and flying free. Mainliner, don't kill off the whimsy! Phew, finally out of the woods. Good work, guys. We just had to hang in there a little longer. 34 contraband core components, all intact. Looks like the landing module works quite well. My work is almost done. All that's left is to deliver this to Gordon. I hope all is well on his side. Next.
Put it down. Turn around.
You're Gustav's science consultant? What are you doing here? Hi, scientific consultant. Are you gonna join in? Are you gonna betray Gustav too? Outside the window, the pinnacle of the DC government office and the Colombian flag are already visible. Gordon's eyes are fixed on the bottom left of the broadcast as the red dot on the map gets closer and closer to the district plate. According to the plan, the devices on the list should have been delivered to Cloud more than 10 minutes ago. He forces himself not to look at the door. Gustav is bound to notice any sign of anxiety.
The plan isn't going the way you expected, is it? You're calmer than expected. Being willing to take risks is not a bad thing, but you're not good enough at assessing risk. You didn't have time to prepare a plan B for your reckless plan A. All of you will pay a heavy price if it fails. And what's your plan B? It's all good and well to rediscover your confidence, but never forget who you're competing with. I told you that getting carried away will cause you to overlook fatal flaws. What do you mean? You're late. I was delayed. You're a science consultant. More than just a science consultant, I need insurance for my plan.
The tall dark Kuranta walks towards Gordon. The box holding 34 originium devices safely contained by protective material seems almost weightless in his hands. He lifts his arm and hands the box over to Gordon.
What you wanted. Thanks.
Also, dang, the dude is buff. He just carries it over just casually, lifting all 34 items.
What are you doing? I learned a lot from you. Of course I knew what your trump card was. A rival to provoke competition, a scientific consultant with both brains and brawn, a fair and impartial outsider to give legitimacy to the hearing and plan. Too bad you picked the wrong guy. Gramophone made from the tentacles of fossilized seaborn, decorative or specifically functional. Oh, it's for, I see, automatic tuning with a seaborn sound producing structures. The grooves on the edge indicate that the designer has even tested whether seaborn adjusts their biostructure based on the music. An interesting idea.
He's legit.
Where does this golden skeletal hand come from? The one on the wall is from It forms a pair with a heavily corroded one on the shelf, doesn't it? The construction of the joints and the level of wear and tear indicates that it originated from the western deserts of Sargon. Ah, this ruined dagger is a familiar face. They were supposed to be a pair. I got it from a Sami snow priest, who said a pair of lovers put a curse on it with their blood. It's driven by witchcraft and cuts through iron like butter. I know. The other one was once impaled in my heart.
What? Huh?
It no longer cuts through iron like butter, but still good enough to carve a walking stick. Mr. Consultant, I apologize for any offense I might have caused, and understand your desire for a recompense. But I don't have time. I brought you here for a serious purpose. If we take off part of the structure of the gramophone and combine it with the sensor module on the metal skeletal hand, we might create a new type of voice-guided navigation model. That witchcraft-driven blade can serve as a low-loss needle, and here, this high-powered originium internal combustion engine, legal only in Rimbilliton, can provide 30 times the power of standard Colombian equipment. If only we can find a Victorian transformation stabilizer, which is no longer in production, and a locus of sorcery that was once seen in the Colombian Barrenlands. We'd almost have all the parts necessary to put together the initial core assembly of a nomadic plate's mobility layer.
Dude! Huh? Where did they find this guy?
You know what I'm planning to do? Trying to modify an entire plate's power source with a single device is extremely risky, but not impossible. You're not one of Gustav's guys. Who are you? You're the one who said you didn't have time. The real question is, what do you need me to do?
Gordon glares at the Kuranta standing at the center of the collection room. The Kuranta recognized all Gordon's collection, saw through all Gordon's thoughts, and nonchalantly revealed a glimpse into his own past, as though he had pursued death across the land. To Gordon, the Kuranta seems to stroll through the halls of his thoughts like a king that knows nothing and everything. Once again, the spikes in the Savra's tail rise up on their ends, swaying conspicuously. This time, it is not because he is on guard, but because of the excitement of victory being in sight. Like, what is this guy's story? He's like, yeah, casually, I know what that is, I know where that is, I know what that is, I know what happened if we combine these things. Ah, that missing blade from that pair, yeah, I know about it. It pierced my heart. It's like, dude, what is your story, man?
How is the ability of the power unit? It will last no more than 3 days, or 1 day and a half, if fuel is insufficient. Good enough. You don't actually plan driving it out of Colombia. You don't think I would shit on everyone's future for a grudge? That's what you want people to think, to allow you to protect as many people as possible. Is that so? Treason is a serious crime. You should look at my file. I've got enough charges against me as it is. Come help me take these stuff to the control room.
The wings of a foul beast, the horn of a burden beast, and the teeth of a mangler beast, the hide of a sand beast, and the blood of a beck beast, what would happen if you took something from 34 creatures and put it all together? Sharp, weird, chaotic, dangerous, malicious. These are the thoughts that flash through Gordon's mind as he gazes upon the power unit he just created. But he's also filled with excitement that threatens to drive him mad.
The plane's original power system has been turned off. The device is now connected. You may now decide the course of Propeller Paradise. I swore an oath when I got my transfer notice. I would be the one who lights the fire of everything new on Propeller Paradise. I would do everything I can to make even the stupidest idea come true. No one would ever again feel the pain I felt at ATAO, to be forced to admit their own uselessness and rules set by others. Now I'm still the one who lights the fire, except I'm doing it to the engine of Propeller Paradise, and let it run into the empty wilderness.
Gordon grabs a fierce-looking lever in the power unit and takes a deep breath.
Say goodbye to Maxi C, Propeller Paradise.
I'm rooting for you.
Tin Man, that Fern is leading a group on Platform 7. I see it through the monitors. Looks like Tannen got one up on Gustavit Cloud. Hearing from the guys monitoring the Rhine tree, Nasi has broken through the blockade. Our guys are trying to follow her, but they're being blocked by something that feels like Sarkaz witchcraft. Baily, send a team over and get the situation under control. I'll do what the matters on the Rhine side.
I will finish the event, it's fine.
Looks like you're going to meet an old friend, Larry, Curly, and Mo. A mad banshee on the brink of death might be a bit of a headache to deal with. As for you, Mary, you can choose to stay here, or help our colleagues outside.
You should stay a little longer.
Hey, you three.
Tin Man hears no answer from his reverent friends. While Curly is lithely waving a stick and dancing an impromptu tap dance, Big Larry lies on top of Mercia's head with tears in his eyes, recalling memories of who knows what. As for Lil Mo, he is now howling and yelling, and Tin Man can hear. He seems to think he is back in Castell, taking out a revolver and emptying it into the elder reverend, trying to stuff him into the furnace.
My legs are numb and I'm a little dizzy.
Perhaps you've been lax about your exoskeleton maintenance.
The brain isn't supposed to rust. Your arts have improved considerably, huh? You managed to drag these three into the whirlpool of memory, even though old Curly had confiscated the projector. Or was it dumb luck? Did all the memories of their overly long lives make it easier for you to manipulate?
It'll take a long time to play through the movies of your lives, even at 320 times speed, not to mention all the moments that need to be paused and replayed. I apologize.
You understand the effectiveness against me is limited.
Yes, I'm sure you'll break free of the shackles quite soon. I've read the whole Hayek reports. She could not fully incapacitate you, even after lopping your head off. Therefore, all I can do is stall for as much time as possible and delay your intervention.
You're an outstanding agent, Mary. You've always been doing an admirable job, helping people forget what they should, be it through arts or other means. But this is the wrong time, and you've chosen the wrong target.
You told me not to forget the family name, my family name. I've never forgotten. Any Celine who grew up in that old house would never forget.
The orphanage of Melander Celine, predecessor to the Foundation.
It was our home. We truly considered Mr. Celine our grandfather when we were little. Do you know what my most vivid memory of him is? When I was 8, I came home from school one day to find the doll that should have been in my room spinning in the middle of the garden, watering the grass around it. It was the only thing I had that reminded me of my mother. I don't remember her face, but I remember her thimbles gleaming under the lamp when she sewed the doll for me. Grandpa turned into a sprinkler without a single word to me, as though the doll was always meant to do that. The children who grew up with me all have similar stories. You're Grandpa's best friend, you know that. To the founding father of all of the Federation, there are only new things in Colombia, the youngest nation on Terra, rising out of the frontiers. The only reason for old things to stay is to be used for pioneering. It didn't matter if we were Victorian immigrants or Gaulish refugees, whether we were children or debtors of debtors or criminals. Grandpa wanted us to become the children of Columbia, become Celine's. That was the only reason for existence. However, that's exactly why I can't accept what's happening right now and take it for granted.
What do you mean?
The history of Milan could be traced back as far as the Colombian Revolutionary War in 1019. The founder of the association, Milan Celine, who would later be known as the father of the Federation, was a companion of General Mark Max, who miraculously turned the tide of the war in favor of the Colombians. Milan possesses expansive organizations and sub-branches under his name. Its broad influence can be seen in many fields such as charity, education, environmental protection, and public policies. In public policies, I mean. Ooh. I can't imagine what you experienced in a long course of history. The Melander Foundation, the president, the vice president, they all have more things to think about. I've seen the analysis on the Kashmirian power armor, the reverse engineer the technology of the Gaulish Bio Vanguard, achieving results that surpass the transmitter used at using the flesh and blood of knights. I've read the textbooks of the Lithuanian Basic Arts Tactics courses. It will not be surprised if, in a decade, every citizen of Lithuania is a soldier, as is the case for Laterano. I can understand why Melander thinks Colombia is falling behind, and how a timely arms race could bring us back on the right track. Judging by the standards that Grandpa taught me so many times, there's nothing more efficient from the perspective of national development. It's not that I don't understand these fallacies, indeed. If I was asked to deal with these problems, I would draw a blank, and I would be able to do little else but cry. But I just can't take it for granted, not now. If orphans like us who had nowhere to go could all become children of Columbia, then why should a mother who walked 1,000 miles in search of her daughter, a merchant who put everything on the line so that his wife could not be hounded by creditors, and testers who were simply trying to earn a living, why should they be sacrificed for the sake of Columbia's progress? You go, Marcia! My job is to make people forget, but this time... You decide to pay a price for Columbia's progress. You shouldn't be allowed to forget. You should remember the lives and dreams that were part of the sacrifice. Don't think of it as no big deal. Grandpa Melander was harsh. Nasty gazes at the indistinct figure within the winding branches, the figure of her mother. Bella's limbs have been replaced by gray-white branches, bark climbing up her clothes, and skin-like scales, printing countless indistinct visages. Glowing resin pours down like a waterfall, obscuring her face. Many desperate hands reach out from within, clutching her throat like clutching at straws. Both the tree and the person within seem almost unrecognizable. There's only one thing that Nasty can be sure of. This is not a natural occurrence. You murdered the tree? Falling. I see your road back falling, collapsing. I must make sure you can go home. My incantation could not reach the broken path, but the roots of this roosting tree, well... I harmed it. In sarcasm, unravel. Nasty's incantation grows unanswered. The tree's design was based on the grammar of the Banshees. It remained flawed in many ways, but it was never before rejected my incantation, yet now... The branches continue to spread around Viola, dragging her floating silhouette towards Nasty bit by bit. Please, Viola, stop. Let me analyze what's happened to you. Nasty's plea goes unanswered too. All Viola does is ask questions in an urgent, trembling voice. There's no Miss Apple Pulp outside the valley. How do you polish your feather horns, Nasty? I never taught you incantations, but it looks like you learned it on your own. A kind of imitation. How did you... And your bone pen, your... That's not important, Viola. What I need to know is what happened to you here. Not important? Viola is suddenly silent, and the creeping branches come to a standstill. An instant later, they start to spread in the opposite direction, encroaching upon what is left of Viola. The fusion is progressing? The roosting tree has shared your memories with me, where you went, what you did. It can share more important things. I saw you dig for answers in the great library of the Lich for days and nights. You ruined your eyesight, but the curmudgeon Fremont kicked you out in the end. I should have told him that you were never a foolish child. It was because of me. I saw you bind your horns and attach a foul beast's feathers to them every day, just to sneak into the city of the Sancta to find food. But it was bad for your horns, that's why one of the right stopped growing, isn't it? I saw you sleep on metal scaffolds, where there were no leaves to give you shade. You didn't build a treehouse either. You just used a simple metal plate. How could anyone sleep like that? Do you get sick? Nasty listens to your go on and on. The voice is distorted, barely recognizable, but the words of concern are familiar. Baily used to say those things when they lived in the Convalis. Nasty realizes that she is not looking at a problem that needs to be solved, nor a patient who needs to be treated. She's looking at a worried mother who needs to be understood. Nasty lowers her bone pen.
Prin, tell me how you look like when she found you. There are burns from arts, holes from bullets, and gashes from sandstorms all over you. You walked the path that I once did, only harder and more painfully. You could have died. You should have stayed in the Convalis. There was nothing more I could do for the valley, for Lacurammaline, for the children. You've already done so much, the lies you've weaved for the sake of all the banshees. I knew it. They couldn't fool you. I began to sense that something was off as soon as you brought me to the Convalis. I've kept a lie going for 200 years. This is my greatest achievement as a custodian of the valley, and my greatest sin. 200 years? Do you mean that war? Yes. The king of Sarkas at the time was old and foolish. It was not just the royal courts. Even outsiders thought they could turn him into a puppet and thus control all the Sarkas. It was already a bad year. Catastrophe raked the land once. Then the Alliance's guns raked it again.
Hey, Kelsey.
The green feline appeared on the horizon, leading a wall of steel that stretched as far as the eye could see. Which were the Steam Knights, which were the Spirecasters, and which were the Vanguard? I couldn't tell. I don't know when they learned to build ships of steel and tubes that breathe fire. All I remember is that the towering Wendigos could only whimper as they were crushed beneath the ships, and our kin fell burning from the sky like broken kites. No one who heard the wailing that day would ever forget it. The wailing of the Banshee. We couldn't tell if we were delivering death or delivering the dead. All we could do was wail and howl, hardly able to put together a single coherent elegy. There were less than 1,000 of us left when the Allied forces withdrew from Casdell. Half of us had lost our voices. Because of our nature, the Banshees have never missed a single war of the Sarkas, but such losses were unprecedented. I survived with sheer chance and left the blood-soaked land of sorrows, trying to find a place where life still remained. The Convalis? The Convalis. The vast mist lake separates it from the outside. The seasons come to a still in the Golden Woods. It's a quiet place, one that seemed like it didn't belong to the Sarkas. There's nothing that shouldn't belong to the Sarkas. Yes, we believed at the time, me, Lacurammaline, and the new king chosen by the crown. We believed in a new life for the Sarkas.
Aw, those three chose us.
Lacurammaline and I took our remaining kin to the Convalis, built a dock by Mist Lake, and built our court in the forests. For the first time we added symbols of life to the Song of Banshee, guided the trees to bear rich fruit, and the vines to weave themselves into bridges with incantations. For the first time, the Banshees settled in a single place. They no longer had to sleep with only the night sky as their blanket, traveling from one death to another. But tokens from the outside soon came flying in like snowflakes. Tokens announcing death. Yes,
Not even Teresa and Teresa's could solve the problems left behind by war overnight. Yes, death lingers, long after the smoke has cleared. We made dried fruit out of our first harvest. It was barely enough for a few hundred banshees to make it through the coldest month of winter. But the tokens in my room, the murky blood crystals of the vampires, tattered shrouds of the Nachtzehrers, the shriveled rosen hearts of the Dajjal become... They soon piled higher, much higher than our dried fruit. I knew that if we went out to deliver the dead at the time, we returned to our old path, but the catalyst for change was one with the lives of thousands upon thousands in war. So you made a choice on behalf of all the banshees. I made the choice. I convinced Lacrimaline. I concealed all the tokens announcing death coming from the outside. Occasionally, a banshee might lead the convalescents to deliver a kin, but I chose the people carefully and sparingly. Lacrimaline faced much criticism outside. For a long time we believed that we could cast outside our nature and lead a different life. If the banshees could do it, so could all Sarkaz. Even if the price was that the owners of the tokens would never find their way to the myriad souls. Even the price that was the banshees, having violated their nature, are swallowed by a lifetime of emptiness, destined to endure a long and painful journey of forgetting upon their deathbed. 200 years passed, 200 years we'd endured. Until I met you. It's a nasty. That's why I had to leave. How many deaths did you tell the others about each month? More people die in Castle every day. You could fool the others, but you knew that I knew from the beginning. Like Carameline was right, you were too smart, and you grew up in Castel. I could not have fooled you. But I hoped you could live in the Convalis. Not just because your mother was one of the many thousands of souls that I turned a blind eye to, not because I owed you a happy childhood for failing to respond to the last wish in time, but also because I hoped that the Convalis, the sanctuary that was built in the hope of seeking a new life for the Sarkaz, would at least be able to take in a child from outside after 200 years. I took the child who was most likely to expose my lion as my daughter. You carefully kept me away from the other banshees. Ultimately, your hopes for the Convalis fell through. I made many mistakes in my life, but there's none that I regret more than your departure. You were always a smart girl. I thought about it many times, that if I told you the truth about things, you would have understood and played along whatsoever. If that was the case, then perhaps you wouldn't have. No, I would have left regardless. I remember the day we parted. You called out to me. I didn't turn around, but I looked down at the water. There was no wind on Mist Lake that day. The boat sailed across the water like a knife cutting through a piece of paper. I saw your face clearly, reflected in the still water. You wept when I said that I was leaving, but let out a sigh of relief, so small, so imperceptible that perhaps you didn't even notice it yourself. Deep down, you wanted me to leave, didn't you? We were co-conspirators in the parting. Haven't you realized it, Vela? It is the Convalis, not me, that is truly your daughter. You discovered it, entrusted the Sarkis' future to it, and built it with the pavilions, and boats and fruits and cakes. Your love for it grew as time passed. There were two reasons why you brought me back to the Convalis: to make amends for the price you paid for it, and to verify whether it has grown the way you hoped it would. My departure brought relief because the one who could expose the fragile lie that ties the Convalis together left. But my departure also brought anguish because it proved that the valley could not carry the burden you hoped it would, even after 200 years. It was too fragile to accept a child who grew up in Castel, much less become the future abode of all Sarkaz. Nasty, don't. Do you know the answer, Vela? You left the Convalis, came here, and merged with this tree, which is like the rooting tree, yet different. Did you do it for me, for yourself, or simply out of obsession? Maybe a mixture of all three. What are you running from, Vela? Are you running from death, from the failure of the Convalis, or from the fact that you were dying, and there's nothing else you can do for the Convalis' failure? Like, dang. Like, I wouldn't consider that cowardice. Like, that is a lot of work. Creating her bubble. Tell me, help me understand and put an end to this error. Oh gosh, am I gonna fight her now? If we're fighting, it's understandable. Like, nasty, those are some fighting words, girl. Okay, how many are here for the platforms, holding them up? So there's two, a lot over here. Okay. I'm just seeing what's there first. So 2 on that side. I'm just gonna put Myrtle down there so I don't take up space in the top one.
ここっていい景色だね。
I might regret it, but it's okay. I just gotta put someone down real quick.
私に出会ったのが運の尽きた。
Yep, at least one person down.
本気で行くよ。
Good for now. Now I think.
お星様に
This side's
あな
fine.
たたちの悲鳴を聞かせてやるわ。
時間をかけるつもりはない。
指定の位置に向かう。
悪い知らせが。ああ、残念ね。
This will be interesting on the bottom side.
今日もよろしくね。
I feel like I should put at least one person down here.
自分のための戦いだ。
For example, oh gosh, Viola, yep, she's here. Hi, Viola. Hey, ma'am.
アーツユニットチャージ中。本気で行くよ。
Good thing a lot of them can stay on this side, so it's not too bad.
武器なら眠
But
ないに
E,
なるでしょ。
gotta start preparing a bit.
見どころはこれからなのに。なんかこれで
Okay, putting someone down there is fine.
ショーの
Okay, start heading back.
この夜を裏切ることなかれ。
わあ、リンゴちゃん、今日もよろしくね。
Okay, take you down, take you down.
助ければ楽に終わる。
承知。
This will be fine, just in case.
プログラム治療プロセス開始します。
戦こうが抗おうが無駄だ。指示を待つ。
Okay, maybe this won't be too bad.
何を片付ければ。
みんな、こっち来て。
Okay, so far so good.
私に距離を合わせて。
Oh wait, poor Silver Ash, look at him burning. Oh wait, what just happened? Oh no! Well, this is gonna be a thing.
これが戦場というものね。
いない。そうはもうじき終焉。
Okay, just keep living, just keep living.
私はまだ何か待ってるのかな。
All we need to do is live, it's fine.
指示を待つ。遺言の
Okay, it's good thing in range.
私にさ、
Just live, just live, just live.
準備整えた。
ほら、しっかり。
She really wants to go after Silver Ash. Okay. Now it's just the others for now. Which I can attack at a distance, luckily.
これで静かになってくれる。
Hehehe.
さっさと片付ければ楽に。
Good job.
準備が整った。
They're just gonna stall for a tiny bit.
みんなが僕らを見てるよ。
Go get him. It's so nice having operators that can just do this. Go after the enemies that have no stage I can stand on. Thank you.
これで静かになってくれよ。
Okay, and then over here.
指定の位置に向かう。この程度か。
Okay, got that one. Just fall. Phew. My bestie Susie knows that it moves. You know, I'm sure we can talk about this like reasonable people.
All the riders are here. Shut them in the lower level jail. We'll hand them over to the courts when we arrive in DC. It's almost time. Double check your parachutes unless you want to end up in a puddle. What? Did someone press the detonate button early? Impossible. We're less than a kilometer from the district. Wait, the government buildings are getting smaller. Moving away from the capital? Looks like
events are moving faster than your plans catch up. Did your plans catch up? Can catch up, aren't they?
you never intend to stop the explosion. You're just stalling for time for the plane to turn.
Do you think we have the means to go toe-to-toe with well-trained units?
Events moving faster than plans can catch up. Change your plans. Lower level, evacuate by the planned routes. Upper level, protect the civilians around you and prepare to parachute. Point 0, detonate.
Still gonna detonate, really?
What's going on? The broadcast has gone dark. Are the screens outside getting a signal?
You're still thinking about the broadcast? Did you hear the Emergency Management Council's evacuation warning? A serious accident has occurred in the levitation layer. All floating facilities will fall from the sky in less than 10 minutes. Hurry up and get yourself to the emergency shelters.
Fall from the sky?
Oakley looks up to see hundreds of floating pods turn to fireballs in the sky, marring the clear skies of smoke and ash. Without the gentle touch of sunlight, the cloud-like pods turn back into chunks of metal, crashing down a lower level.
Look out!
Oakley, you weren't paying any attention, were you, dude? There's so many broadcasts.
That was a close call, thanks. You're the tester? From which company? I don't remember you. Now is not the time for introductions, Oakley. The streets are exposed. You risk getting hit by falling debris. You should go into an emergency shelter quickly. Alright.
Nice assist. Falling, tumbling down. Fern's heart is beating so hard she feels like it might escape her ribcage at any moment. She tries her best to control her breathing. The straps on the sides of the helmet slap her face, inflicting just enough pain to fend off the fear of falling. In an instant, the signal from the detonator travels through the connected conduits, igniting all the floating facilities at the same time. Fern leaps from platform 7 before it loses all power. The falling pod streaks past Fern like a black meteor. The bright-colored paint is burned off of the advertisements, and melted cables flail in the air, giving off a bitter smell of tar. The whole levitation layer sways meekly in the air like a deflated balloon. Lucky Sissy Beast, one boot, Beach Bella. Fern watches as these company logos fall together with her. Now that is a scene that rivals sunset on the bleached wasteland, she thinks.
Blue parachute, Fern.
Oops, I almost forgot. The updraft lifts the feline slender frame. The parachutes come together to form a massive cloud.
Did we do it? The people on the ground don't know what's happening. It must be a shock for them to see their investments and products turn to ash.
They're safe at least. The pieces of the levitation layer would have fallen on top of their heads if the plate didn't turn around. Besides, they'll never find out that they were scheming and plotting to stop them from dreaming.
Where do we go next?
You could certainly go back to Northvale to see your wife.
Sure, what about after that?
After that, let's talk about it when we get back to standing on terra firma and looking up at the sky. The light of burning fire illuminates the people's faces, but there is little regret in their hearts as they gaze upon Propeller Paradise, now beyond recognition. The remains of Propeller Paradise are scattered across the barren lands between the district and the plate, like gifts that have been returned. Fern closes her eyes in relaxation as she comes back down to Earth with Paradise. The elderly banshee said her kin were like broken kites as they fell burning from the sky in that war from 200 years ago. Now though, she's like a kite that has too many strings attached, the branches and roots tugging at her as she floats in midair. A kite nothing could ever ruin, as she'd wished.
The roosting tree. That was the name I gave it. I built huts beneath it and made it the abode of every banshee. But all I felt was fear when Lacquer Malign brought me to its roots. It was like a great void that could not be illuminated by the moons, by candles, or by fireflies. It was still and silent, sucking away my memory, a little bit at a time. I could smell decay in the darkness, a decay that could not reverse, not even the children of soil and stone could. It was a constant reminder of how pathetic the Convalis was. At the end, Lady Teresa and Lord Teresa's found a future for the Sarkas through war and death. Meanwhile, Aphaniel continued to seek a new future for the Banshees. But me and my valley, it is nothing more than a failed sanctuary that quietly awaits death, and there's nothing more I can do for it. So you ran away from the roosting tree and ran away from death. Why here, though? Everywhere outside of the Convalis was the same, grey and chaotic, impossible to navigate. There was only one path that I remembered, those familiar names that you said, Lathanian, Laterano, Columbia. I followed the names, followed your scent, not knowing what to do, to what end the path led. And what I would do there. I just didn't want the tree to turn me into an empty husk, but you chose to go into another tree. I was filled with sorrow when I saw that you planted another roosting tree here. When I felt the spread of decay, I thought you were going to repeat our mistakes, even if we couldn't save the Convalis' roosting tree. I wanted to do something for this one, even if all I could do was stay its decay and save you from sorrow for a while. When I saw with my own eyes, I realized there was nothing I could do for it, but it could save me.
Hello? Don't stand a ghost of a chance. Nah. It's all good.
The roosting tree only takes memories, but this one shares. It shares the story of the Convalis and of your journey. It makes me feel that I'm alive. I'm sorry, Nasty. I fused with the tree before I stopped the path from collapsing. Once again, I deceived you. That's why you're so lucid. That's why the tree rejects my incantations. You rewrote its grammar and changed its operating logic. It keeps you alive and you keep it running, even though neither of you are what you used to be.
You know, I'm fine with this fusion. It's mutual. They both benefit from each other, it's fine. Like, I like that. Like, she tries to make a respite, which, like, I appreciate.
You like a program that relies on a bug to keep running. Bug? Program? Like a withered tree that relies on a parasitic vine to remain standing. It's not so bad, is it? If this can keep it from withering, then I've finally done something useful for you, for the Banshees, for the Sarkas. I can bring it back to the Convalis, bring you back. That'll be pointless. Why? Why is the tree not responding to me? That means it's working.
The outer casing of the device Nasty is carrying in her belt falls away with a crack. Paper tapes pour out, laying themselves out around her as though following an invisible blueprint, forming an elaborate and organized framework. The tapes are filled with tiny holes that represent incantations, coming together to build Nasty's unique language and safeguard her unique rules, rejecting the anarchic spread of the branches.
I said I must understand before I can put an end to this error. Now I do.
Nasty raises her pen and writes down a function, an incantation. Only want to give my parasites a chance like mosquitoes, not mosquitoes. Hell no. But Gotcha's like a parasite to my wallet, and I accepted nonetheless. Decent sarcasm.
Reconstruct. No. The memories that the tree shared with me, they're disappearing. Nasty, what are you doing? Wiping the preloaded data in the tree. All that it shared with you was only temporary data for experimentation. I know that you don't want to forget, but what you truly want to remember and retain are not those hodgepodge data put together for experiments. Even if it's so, please don't make the last thing I see be the sight of you destroying your life's work. You walked such a long road and suffered so much for it. To you, the Convalis was your life's work, but I've never had one. I have a goal. This tree is a means to it. My judgment of it is not based on how much I committed to it, only whether it can achieve my goal. You hope that fusing with it would keep it from withering, but not withering won't make it any more useful.
I love how, as a matter of fact, Nastia, she's like, it's just an experiment to me. It's not my baby.
Just like the roosting tree of the Convalis. I don't want to be cruel, but the roosting tree never truly console the dying. It is no more than a simple Phoebe tree, bent under the weight of incantations. It's native to the genus Phoebopsis, in the family of Targangils, Simarobaceae, and its wood is commonly used for buildings in the southeast Terra. I had an elf colleague verify its nature after I joined Rhine Lab.
I think she was just like that. But Kristen made her even more.
It became the roosting tree of the Convalis because you saw it as a symbol and mourned its change. It is withered because it has reached the end of its natural lifespan. That is all? Even the colors that ran through its branches is merely the result of exposure to incantations over the years. I don't remember how it used to look anymore. But Nasty, if it's truly so, why does your tree look so much like the roosting tree? Because it reminds me of you. Just as you think of me. Do you know why I planted this tree? I remember the day we parted. You were calling to me, but I didn't turn back because of some words that can no longer be said once you see the other person's face. I couldn't help but look at your face reflected in the water. I wanted to remember how you looked. New tears flowed across the lines made by old ones, as though it was a fixture on your face. I spent more than a decade with you in the Convalis. I never saw you without tear marks on your face. Life in the valley was good. I would have chosen the Convalis over Casto every time. 100 times over, but Vela... Was there a single moment that you weren't in pain over the course of your 200 years in the Convalis? At first, I thought I could wipe away your tears and make you smile with simple methods. You spent a whole day wiping my face with mist apple pulp. It was only later that I learned why you were in pain. The source of your pain was a decision, the lie. The kin who suffered because they had defied their nature, the kindred who could not return to the myriad souls because there was no one to deliver them. They were the source of your pain. To solve your problem, I must solve the problems of the Banshees, the problems of the Sarkas. The answer lies outside the Convalis, outside of Casto, in a place that I don't know. As I indulge in such fantasies, I saw you and I sail in the sky. The reflected sky. It was a calm, windless day, but suddenly the water rippled without warning, wiping away the eternal tear marks on your face. You almost looked like you were smiling. And so I began to think about the sky whenever I thought about how to make you smile. Perhaps the sky is where we can find our sanctuary, an abode for our souls. Speaks in Sarkas, the Sarkas' promised land could also be in the sky. All the things you did, this tree in the sky, that's where it all began. Access security camera image. Falling like a broken kite. Looks like Mainlanders successfully carried out their plan. The entire capital will bear witness to the fall of Propeller Paradise. But the tremors came from the ground plate. Did Gordon... Will we fall too? Not sure. I've undone the fusion and reset the tree, restoring it to an operable state. But the tree itself is not yet complete. At least, save yourself, Nasty. 3 years ago, Ephaniel added a condition to my hypothesis that when he delivered the myriad souls. 2 years ago, a friend split the sky and showed me the path to the future. But I'm still one step away from the answer. What is to come will depend on whether we find it. We're in the sky, but I don't see the answer. Everything has fallen. The sky is empty. Yes, the sky has always been empty. It is we who must fill it.
For you, Vela, I don't think the answer's in the sky. It's in you. And it seems like they're in contact. I can hear the roars, the hatred, the cries that surround you. The killing delivered or failed to deliver, vampires, Nachzerers, Dejaj, and banshees. I've wiped away all the preloaded temporary experiment data from the tree. It's your own frustration, rage, and sorrow that binds you now, like every banshee that you sent away the last 200 years, like every Sark as it returned to the myriad souls since the beginning of time. That's why people are made empty from the painful oblivion. That is why the myriad souls are always roaring, always angry, always wailing. But if we leave behind the residues of information and death, and the myriad souls are merely the collective of such residues, why shouldn't it be joy and song that remains? Does their nature prevent it? No. To process residues of information, build a server. If coverage on the ground isn't enough, raise it to the sky. Not just a sanctuary for the living, the tree will become an abode for the departed as well. This time, however, we decide what we leave behind. Perhaps it wasn't a function that the tree was missing. It was a command, a decision, a sincere wish. Tell me the answer, Vela. What is it that you truly want to leave behind? This tree, the tree. I'll preserve that memory for you. Oblivion will never claim what you want to leave behind. I don't know. You don't know. At first, I just wanted to save our kin from pain, from anger, from sorrow. But I no longer know how that can be achieved, if neither the Convalis nor the roosting tree could accomplish it. Is there any meaning in leaving anything behind? Vela. Nasi wanted to do something, say something, but no sound comes out from her lips. She's normally not one to deal with hypotheticals, but if she could not help but think, if she finished the tree and took her people to the sanctuary in the sky sooner, would her mother have had a comforting memory to cling to? Hundreds of pods fall burning from the sky, like black meteors, like heavy raindrops, like broken kites. Mother and daughter gaze at each other and silently, as they hoped it would make this moment an eternity. No, you were never one to stop walking, Nasty. Once you decided on a path, you'll see it through to the end. Don't stop now. Don't let me take away the meaning of what you've accomplished. My life may have not had no meaning, but there must be some meaning to all that you've done. If this tree is a new abode for the souls of the Sarkas, then let me be its first denizen. I gave you a home 20 years ago, now you've given me one. When the children sat around the tree to listen to its voice, I want it to be your laughter that they hear, not your weeping. And I want to remember your smile when I think of you. Nasty, my child. I've had good memories that made me smile. I remember, it was... She cannot finish the sentence. No! Half a year has passed since she realized that she was beginning to forget, and fled her hut under the roosting tree, following Nasty's trail all the way to Columbia. Half a year. A journey far too long for a dying banshee. It was not the reunion that she had hoped for, but as the obsession that carried her to this point falls apart, death has finally caught up to her. Countless scenes fade from Viola's memories and become vivid before Nasty's eyes. The banshee's aura lies still in her hands. She hears a lament. The king who painted the same dream with her has passed, in a faraway place that she cannot see. The banshee stands still beneath the roosting tree. She spent 3 months witnessing her kin fall victim to oblivion and become an empty husk, the price they paid for her lies. And there was nothing she could do about it. The banshee kneels still on the floor of the dilapidated house. She promised to deliver a gargoyle who helped her in the past, but all that was left on the tip of a petrified tail. The banshee's sorrow and regrets are infinite, flowing past Nasty like a river without end. After all these memories have faded, there is one last thing that is left. One tiny brief fragment. The banshee is putting the child to bed, a girl whom she had brought back to the Convalis. Her eyes are filled with fatigue as she looks after her old friend, but all she would talk about is how lovely that child is. She used to be a child once. She opens her eyes and sees a land for the first time. She does not know whether it is good or bad. But Nasti can see that she is smiling. Time passes through the Banshee, like the wind across the surface of Mist Lake, leaving nothing behind. Bella fades away into the sky. A leaf gently drifts down. I'll catch you and remember you, Mother. Nasti catches the leaf gently, as her mother once picked a leaf from the tree for her. One does not need a bone whistle to accompany a smile. After a long silence, she blows a tune with a leaf. Like threads, the notes weave to the gentlest incantation that she's ever weaved. Be at peace. Oh, her end was nice. I like that. Like, that's very sweet. I'm happy that she had a smile at the end, even if she couldn't finish her last thought or her last words.
I'd like to make a bet with you, Miss Wilson. How many sky stocks do you think young Pavard, that honest and serious secretary of mine, will go and buy once he delivers the balloons?
0. The end of the line of the stock exchange was 2 blocks away when I came.
The last time I saw this level of excitement in the district was when the Department of Defense decided to send troops to Bolivar. I still have one of those cactus hats in my office. People went to the streets wearing those hats, shouting slogans of turning the veins of the DC green.
I haven't seen those hats in a long time.
No one wants their taxes turned into guns, not since Robert McKenton and his feat of saving Bolivar from the Bolivarians became the butt of evening radio's jokes.
Everybody wears a propeller on their heads now.
A blue propeller hat that spins. It's awfully noisy, to tell the truth. I hear there's a new version that automatically plays a rock song every Colombian knows when the propeller spins. I grew up listening to Terra Bless Us and City Way 66. I once thought that the song of our time would be Goodnight Arc 01. Turns out it would be Goodnight Kristen Wright. That obsession that Colombians have with the future will never change.
Oh, you can write it out. Plus, I gotta finish this quickly. Because afterwards, there's an interlude left, right? The obsession that Colombians have.
The obsession that Colombians have with the future will never change, but the one they're following seems to have changed while they weren't looking.
Kristen never intended to become an idol.
The Department of Defense had never intended to become a joke. It never occurred to any of us when we raised the glass of the failure of the DoD that it wouldn't just be the DoD who loses credibility.
The people listening to the late night radio over a pot of mac and cheese don't differentiate between the DoD, Congress, or the cabinet after all. I want the mac and cheese. The fellows are chef's kiss. The banshees are the guardians of the dead for the sarcasm. They put their worries souls to rest, but in the past, the furnace instead burned their souls as fuel. After Teresa shattered the myriad souls, allowing them to truly pass on, Logos declared to his kind that he will be the ferryman and will guide them to their destination. The roosting tree in the Valley should have been the destination, but like the furnace in Caso, it also represents a shackle to their chains. The tree only took. The Sarkas are known to many in Terra, only took and destroyed themselves in the process, and the tree acted in the same function. Plus the tree's dying now, which is sad. As a Sarkas, Nasti was well aware of the endless tribulations the race faces. Nasti's flying roosting tree is the inverse of that. She witnesses how the Sarkas drift aimlessly through the wastelands, with nowhere to call home, and their soul not be mourned, unnamed and lost. Turning to the sky as a truthful promised land, instead of only take, it was shared instead of suffering, it's peace. Instead of fuel to burn, it's a fertilizer for life. If Logos is a ferryman that rows them to the destination, then Nasti is a destination for the departed. The one that leaves their weary souls to rest in peace and let them remember the good times. Like, her dream is wholesome, very, very wholesome. I like that. She wants everyone to have a happy end. Like, I'm rooting for her, and I'm happy that she was able to at least give this end to her mother, to Baily. As you said yourself, these days, the masses seem more willing to take inspiration from a legend or miracle.
Sometimes, however, we need to turn their gazes back to the soil that nurtures miracle. Back to Colombia.
Tech Review Reporter. Finally, we lay our eyes on Propeller Paradise. Not a day has passed since we don't think about it, ever since that fateful night 2 years ago. The Savior's special guest. The synchronized aerial turn that we just witnessed is a testament to the skill of our test pilots, even in times of peace. Voice of Progress official channel. Now Propeller Paradise reveals its miracles to use. This wonderful spectacle of Colombian dream. Tech Review Reporter. Declaring that... Silence. Every media outlet, every channel voices rich or coarse, or sharp or warm, all fall silent at the same time. The entrepreneurs and investors on the streets, along with thousands upon thousands of ordinary people, fall silent too. For a few minutes, the only sound in Max DC is the sound of their propeller hats. The rustling sound they make, like falling leaves, is the only accomplishment to this spectacular disaster witnessed by millions in the capital. Ugh. Turn their gazes back to the soil that nurtures miracle.
Back to Colombia.
A terrorist attack? A premeditated act of terror? Investigators confirmed that the explosion was caused by a batch of arts weapons smuggled in disguise as general parts. The weapons can be traced to numerous Centrum nations, including... Are they really doing this way? Gosh darn it. Kashmirish, which has long since abandoned the ways of chivalry, and Lithuania, an ancient nation of casters, have used their despicable tricks against us. The Voice of Progress falls silent today. It is the darkest day in Colombia's 80 years of history.
The nation is waiting for me to speak. I should tell them they have destroyed more than just an exhibition. They've destroyed the hopes and dreams that every Colombian entrusted to it.
It wasn't them.
I should tell them this shameless, heinous act was committed by those who envy our splendor, trying to make our people timid and afraid. I should tell them, but they're doomed to fail. Colombia will never be defeated. No conspiracy can stop the lamp and star from shining bright in the west. And then Colombians will eagerly turn their taxes into guns again. Everything that they've fervently devoted to Propeller Paradise, all those sky stalks, and the spinning propeller hats will turn into shields and swords. When the smoke clears, the empty sky will be more inflammatory than any speech.
The winds on the wilderness of Colombia have never stopped, mercilessly blowing away the smoke and cloud that surround Propeller Paradise. The sky feels even emptier than before after all the things bright and beautiful have fallen. But it's not entirely empty. The tree.
Is the soot playing tricks on my eyes?
I see it as well as you do, Mr. Vice President.
As do millions of people here in DC.
Floating platforms supported by a complicated system of massive hot air balloons and propellers have fallen. Floating labs of many shapes and sizes have fallen. The railway system that connected the levitation layer has fallen, along with hundreds of pods. The saucer-shaped tower that linked the ground and the sky has fallen, along with the elevator that it supports. Only one thing rises through the clouds, into the bright skies of Colombia. Message from Mainlander, sir. Propeller Paradise has stopped moving toward the capital. It is now headed for the southeastern border, accelerating. Mainlander believes that they are trying to escape Colombia, which would be an act of treason. Mechanized units on the border are moving to cut off Propeller Paradise's potential routes. More importantly, the unknown object in the sky has already been locked on by our defensive artillery deployed along the district's route. With your speech about to begin, they want to hear how you define it. The Department of Defense recommends opening fire immediately and sticking with the current narrative. Mainlanders raise the possibility of conveying a different message to the survival of this facility. But they have also noted the risk of doing so. The facility was created by Rhine Lab after all. Can you just like not shoot it down, please?
Before they do anything, I would like to get a good look at this thing myself. A tree? A tree? Rhine certainly has style, doesn't it? A tree-shaped facility. Do you know what it is? I have no idea. I suppose I'm just here to lighten up the mood while you vent about Rhine. Ha, well, it doesn't matter. What it is will soon stop mattering to the people. Just like the balloon that couldn't fly. In the DoD's game, it will become an infant slaughtered by knights, an envoy killed by the Witch King. Its fall will drive the rise to the people's wrath. In Mainlander's proposal, it will become the next symbol of the Colombian spirit, its silhouette printed on every hatch that leaves the factories for the next decade.
Is that so? All I see is a tree. You see those foul beasts brushing their feathers and honing their beaks? They've accepted that it's a tree that they can roost on.
A tree rising from the wounds of Colombia? How should people understand it?
They don't have to. Just as you didn't need to understand the mobile mining platform in the wilderness that you skipped classes to watch when you were young. Did you know that it was carrying a group of ambitious pioneers or desperate debtors? Did it return with a full load of riches, or was it simply drifting aimlessly?
Ha! All I know is that I really didn't want to take a test that day, and the mining platform happening to be chasing the setting sun.
A mining platform chasing the setting sun and a flying tree. They're not so different, are they? What is your position, Mr. Vice President?
I'm the Vice President of the Colombian Union. With this position comes responsibility. I can't skip classes to watch a mining platform chase the setting sun like I used to.
You feel like Colombia might be your favorite nation, Tara? Because the way they stride, rather the way Rhine Lab strides is magnetic, their obsessions. And the moment they arrive at their own respective paths. Like, they have good moments. But oh my goodness, I hate how there's no Air Expo. I was looking forward to Air Expo. Gosh darn it. Freaking Mainlander, why?
Still, that was indeed what made me feel something about the soil of Colombia for the first time. If the sky is the soil that nurtures the future of Colombia, I'm sure there's enough room in it for a flying tree.
Yes, keep the tree.
はいおしまい一杯飲みに行こうか
The tree did nothing wrong.
テキサスはどこかな
And now for the ending. Oh gosh, I hope we're not gonna be like an hour late. Flight resumption, a discussion, a few empty chairs. Oop.
A most remarkable speech, Mr. Vice President. People were moved to tears, even in the Rhine Lounge. I didn't think I would move the most eccentric, most maverick scientist of Colombia. But I received enough flowers, banners, strongly worded letters of support, and soldier figures painted in my likeness over the last few hours. Not from Rhine. For the better, I suppose. Let's get back to the topic at hand. How should we define that tree floating in the sky from a scientific perspective? If you really want to know the scientific principles behind it, I could spend the whole afternoon explaining how its roots will spread across the land and its branches and leaves across the sky. From a scientific perspective, however, all you need to know is that when it is fully grown, it will be able to collect energy information from across Colombia and process it centrally. You mean an energy well like the SHAFT, but on a national scale? And a server too, bidirectional to boot. The roots and branches go both ways, not only from the ground to the sky, but also from the sky to the ground. Ha ha! No need to force yourself to understand these things. You can zone out the way you did when you visited our Tri-Mount's headquarters. It was your words that saved the tree when the dozens of
when dozens of guns from the Department of Defense and hundreds of cameras from mainlander media were pointed at it.
Miss Wilson's words truly tugged at the heartstrings. Even an old man like me couldn't help but think back to the wild days of youth.
I see. And there I was thinking that it was because you didn't want to give away the chance to define this tree to mainlander or the Department of Defense. An exhibition, a speech, sky fever, and patriotism have made you the overwhelming darling of public opinion over the other candidates in the span of just a few hours. But have you thought about the future you would need to paint in order to not let your supporters down? Or was it always your plan to improvise your speech?
You know about the understanding between Kristen and the Department of Defense. Kristen would build Ark-01, and it was none of Ryan's business who the DoD used it against. Since I already have the authority to define this tree, I don't suppose it would have broken through the star pod before everyone's eyes if I didn't discuss with Ryan when defining it. Of course you don't have to discuss with anyone, be it Nasty, myself, or the generals, the lawmakers, or the plushie on your shoulder. Heh heh. I take back what I said about you when I was chatting with my secretary.
What do you mean?
You're easier to deal with than Kristen. State your demands.
Lift the lockdown on Propeller Paradise and allow the escape plane to return to the capital's route for repairs. As to those involved in the incident,
Escape? That's not how the DC would define what has happened. Researchers who stand on the front lines of Colombian science would never flee in the face of foreign sabotage, would they? What else?
lift the lockdown, Rhine Lab. You know what I'm talking about.
You and I should hold an official meeting as soon as possible. You can't ask the government to undo something we haven't done. We only ever been curious. What can Rhine Lab do?
Oh gosh, what kind of lockdown do they do? Seriously, is no one sleeping tonight? I should have held some night wilderness tours.
Heh. You just wouldn't stay still, would you? Even when the plate's broken down.
I could see the same about you. You look like a clerk gazing blankly at the sky outside after coming back from vacation.
Well, I was scared, but also excited when we started fighting the Mainlander people.
You almost scared me when you tried to bite that agent's finger off.
I'm not really an emotional guy. The last time I was so excited was when I got approved for the Sky Loan. The loan shark was showing off levitating devices at the entrance to the local bar. There were so many people watching that they broke the fence. In the end, it wasn't education or economic circumstances that decided who got the loan, but who could fly a drone the highest and furthest.
Which is how you ended up being the sucker who got scammed into it.
That night, I stupidly bragged to my wife, showing off the finger I used to move the control stick and win a chance for the future.
It was only a few days later that you realized there was no battery in that controller at all.
Yeah, I should never trust myself when blood gets to my head.
But you still charged the blockade with us without a second thought, didn't you?
Yeah, now we're like sissy beasts to the slaughter in the wilderness, waiting for the government to decide our future. I feel like an onion thrown into a washing machine, getting layers after layers peeled off in these tides of fevers.
Hello, hello. Happy birthday. Do you want to escape the washing machine, or do you want to be more than a powerless onion? A few years ago, I had an idea while going into the bleached wasteland for the third time. If I sneaked inside with a truckload of pure gold ore and took it through the border checkpoint in broad daylight, Colombians would forget all the terrifying legends in the blink of an eye and begin another great expansion, and it wouldn't be much different than what we're going through. Even if it began with a board tour guide rather than a scientist who split the sky, even if it was a hoax rather than a milestone. We always try to see new possibilities inside the door marked by impossible, to escape the laws of common sense that seem to have no end, to go somewhere else and live a different life. You, me, the hundreds of Propeller Paradise testers, even the Rhine researcher assistant, Sky, we're all the same. Nomadic City for Casdo. Is anybody nasty? the director of Rhine Lab Engineering Section, which remains conceptual as of the events of Lone Trail. It was inspired by her views of the millennia old suffering of the Sarkas. In the Sarkas, she too envisions that there will be a day when the Sarkas can find their genuine promised land, and she hopes that they can aim for higher gold. Domination of the sky to a level that no Tyran has ever dared to. By having the city of the firmament, it is not only serves as an internal settlement of the Sarkas, but also allows Rhine Lab to conduct research on the Star Pod and eventually out of space. Oh man, the Star Pod.
The onion can't get out by of the washing machine.
But we can remember why we chose to go inside.
If the government doesn't hang us all for treason tonight, I want to stay in the propeller paradise, run lucky sissy beasts, and pay my debts. Can you deliver a letter to my wife? I don't really trust regular messengers.
Would you like to join Fern's tours? I could deliver you. Hey wife, it's been like 2 years since I left, but hi, it's me again. I wonder how her life is.
I don't believe it. There can't be a single scientist in Terra like you.
Sound of hammering.
How did you meet Gustav? Did you know about his and Melander's plan?
Sound of metal being polished.
Shame I never actually got to teach him a lesson. That old fox ran off with Melander's people after the levitation layer fell. He was taken away in handcuffs. Handcuffs? Ha! He wanted me to take the fall for Propeller Paradise. But he's the one who ends up going down.
Sound of metal clanging.
Good. You've been sitting here the whole day with those pliers and hammers. What are you studying? I'm preparing for the journey.
The Kuranta gestures to the bottom of his shoes. Only then does Gordon realize that the sound of the Kuranta makes in walking does not come from shoes.
A piece of crescent shaped metal nailed to your feet? Doesn't it hurt? No, feet are more trustworthy than shoes in treacherous terrain, such as the swamps of Sargon, the icefields of Sami, and the barren lands of Columbia.
Horseshoes.
So you don't plan on hiding your identity from me? My role is insignificant in this entire event. I simply came to help a friend and made a new friend along the way. I do so hate free spirits. You have enough experience to be my travel companion, but you won't do it. ATO is going to be purged after this accident. Why should I not go back? Why should I not go back when the old fox no longer has any influence? Besides, you recognize everything in my collection room. I'll always be inferior to you if I travel with you. I'll make good use of all ATAO resources available to me. You won't recognize 5-4 the next time you see it. I look forward to it. Is there any place you haven't been? Like beyond the star pod, I guess? There are many paths that no one has trodden before. If there indeed comes a day when humanity stands among the clouds, I will continue to cast my gaze to land.
Wow, he would have traveled with Gordon if that was an option. And he considers Gordon a friend. That's cute. Like, that's nice. I know, right? Like, how was his conquest?
I saw you coming this time, Mercia.
It's rare to see you not burying your head in work. Are you waiting for someone?
What about you? Your colleagues already pulled out of Propeller Paradise before the sun had set. Another row of secretaries. Yet to be the last one to leave.
Just ran into a bit of trouble when packing. Beast and sarcasm. Hover. Oh, thank you. I was wondering how I'd get them down there.
You chose the most scenic route, one that would take you around the tree.
I wanted to see the final resting place of Baily, your mother.
Her epitaph is the leaves that grow out upon it. Look up on your way out. She might have the wind carry one to you, if she still remembers you.
You're not angry that I used Baily to complete Maylander's mission?
You also defied Maylander's orders, in order to help her. If it's to prison that you go from here, I would not consider it a shining example of Colombian justice.
No need to worry about that. The Tin Man once decorated himself with drone parts that Mr. Celine discarded. Usefulness is not the only standard that he uses to judge. And this little rebellion won't be either. I think that's the one you were waiting for. I'll take my leave then.
Give me the parameters, Sky. Transmission complete. Nothing out of the ordinary. The tree is in great shape. But you already know that, don't you? Just making sure that the battle didn't wreck your brain. The first thing I learned on the streets of Trimonts was how to fight. I wouldn't be here at Rhine if a fight or two could wreck my brain. Until I come back, you're in charge of the tree's regular maintenance, any derivative projects, and all of our staff, workers and testers in Propeller Paradise. I need you on top of your game. I got the projects, but the workers and testers, they've been asking what you liked. They wanted to give you a token of their appreciation before you leave. They say because of you, Director Lunaray. What did you tell them? I don't know. I have no idea what you like, other than our work. Take a Starpod Wars stamp to Pit tomorrow. He'll tell you everyone's personality and interests. Director, the first thing I learned on the Barren Lands was how to deal with people. What do you like then? It's not hard to find out. It's time to go. I'll leave the tree in your hands. Huh? What about the one you were waiting for? He's used to traveling alone. He's probably already left. Left? But we're in the Barren Lands. He'll find a way.
Good for you, Sky. You got a promotion. Hey, stop. This is Rhine Lab HQ. Visitors need to register over there. I noticed you the moment you walked in. Hard not to given the clatter you make when walking. Did you come back from the Barren Lands or something? At least change your clothes if you want to steal company secrets. Old friend? Ah, I guess he's your old friend. The one she was waiting for. What the? Director level access? Who are you? I'm sorry, I'll take you upstairs now. The others are waiting for you in the conference room.
Thank you.
I don't blame her for not thinking he'd be the guest that they're waiting for. Understandable.
That's the gist of it. The rest of the details are on the side. Or on the slide. Propeller Paradise is docked with Max CC. The district will now proceed to perform repairs and take inventory. Hundreds of tech firms, more than 1,000 research projects on the sky and flight, and some 20 to 30,000 people. It will take months to complete. Fortunately, Saya's negotiation with Jackson was a success, and the Rhine engineering section will be able to focus on their work at Propeller Paradise. Sky Jagger's in charge until I get back. He's matured a lot.
Wow, you're actually developing new guys. Good work, Nasty.
Thanks for your help. I would thank even more if you delete the photos where we make faces with my appearance.
She took photos, of course. Nah, don't think so. Say, aren't you gonna tell me about your mom?
No.
Something's different about you. Not sure what exactly, but in a good way. Nasty.
Alright, I cried. I came to terms with a few things and strengthened my resolve with a few things. That's all. Ahem. I didn't have my lab to watch your little tete.
You've been a little too committed to science lately, Ferdinand. I'm almost starting to miss the days when you were scheming left and right to take over the company.
And why do you think I'm not doing that? I'll ask you to recall that it was my breakthroughs in high-energy physics that have kept all of our sections afloat these past 2 years, ladies. Yes, sure. Thank you for your help.
I'm guessing Dorothy didn't come to the meeting because she didn't want to hear you gloat.
She went back to Site 359 after the inquiry. She said that she had a few dreams. Girl never looks forward. Sorry, Nazi's already sent the experiment results concerning the tree to my mailbox. We're not here to only discuss only to discuss the Propeller Paradise matter, are we?
Of course not.
Then who are we waiting for? Perhaps you might be interested in seeing data from the Infi ice field.
You're back. Miriam, finally. Miriam. OMG's outfit. Hello, Miriam. Oh, he's the one that discovered the Collapsal's flower.
Sorry, it's been a long time since I've been to Colombia. Took me some time to fit my hoof irons. Broke them in a walk from DC to Trimonts.
I'm glad I didn't wait for you in Propeller Paradise. I had a car that could have taken both of us back to Rhine together.
You know, I never considered that at all.
Someone obsessed with searching for death in every corner of Terra would be used to working alone, I figured.
It takes 2 people with director-level access to activate the core unit of the tree. I'd wondered who Saria sent to help Nasty. The legend is already a pile of bones in the wilderness. The media questions if the director of Rhine's scientific investigation section even exists. There's definitely no better choice, but... You want to know who arranged it? Justin Jr. He had some investments in Kapat, and no sooner than I had left the Infi ice field than he got in touch. He told me to go to Colombia, and then straight to DC. I got Gustav's invitation soon after that. Justin Jr. had obviously, let's just say, pulled a few strings. Then why did I come back to Rhine? I found a fragment of that spherical superstructure in the depths of the Infi ice field, where the rootless flowers bloomed in the brightest. You guessed it, yes. It's a structure that Kristen's files mentioned. She said people in the old times called it the Stargate. I'm sure Saria will share information with you soon. Any more questions, Ferdinand? I thought not.
Nothing's changed about how you ask and answer your own questions, Miriam. You left Ferdinand with nothing left to say. Alright, looks like everyone's here. This meeting is rather overdue. For the past 2 years, all the mainstream Colombian media and the tech tabloids have made the same judgment. The gap where Stellaria disappeared is a scar upon the star pod, and a scar upon Rhine. They've even come up with a whole narrative on the cancellation of Rhine's end-of-the-year cocktail party. We were all busy, that's all. Yes, but now we finally have some time. The joint project between engineering and ecological had some unexpected twists and turns, but the final result was a smashing success. Nasty, you're now holding the key to a brand new domain. If we can keep it in our hands. The moment they discover the Ada Gate is coming slowly yet eventually. Miriam's discoveries in the Infi ice field has proven beyond all doubt that those strange tales that Kristen collected are, indeed, based on actual fact.
Perhaps it will help us rebuild dialogue with the old era.
And Muses has brought back data from our observation station in Trag. Data that's very interesting, or very dangerous. I'm sure you heard about the events in Bolivar. 20 science teams have gone missing in the Black Flow.
Explorers and schemers will be excited if there are any developments with that swamp. Rhine should act too, Saria.
Magellan is already on her way. The events and phenomena that have unfolded since Kristen's incident indicate that the most well-hidden secrets of Terra all lead to the same answer. It will tell us the reason for Terra's existence, and whether it is a disaster or a brave new world waiting for us in the future. Rhine Lab has already made preparations, but that alone is not enough. We must respond to the fear of the unknown, and go boldly where no one else has gone before. What you said was absolutely correct, Nasty. However, Rhine Lab must be the one to turn that key.
Whoa.
Of course, with a makeup cocktail party. Convergence of the Minds. Rhine Lab release reunited in triumphs. I like how they even have that for a news article. What's this, Justin Jr.?
A newspaper sample. I'd like you to think of a little title for this article here before it goes to print. Are these scientists gathered to mourn the end of the sky fever? Or preparing for it to usher in a new tide of new changes?
You sent a screenshot of your communications with your colleagues to the Savior?
More appropriate to put it as a DoD-aligned newspaper, getting its hands on certain documents that could not be obtained by official means.
But I heard your control had already reached an understanding with Jackson concerning Propeller Paradise.
None too thrilled about it, are you? But it won't stop me from making another deal with you.
You understand that, in the aftermath of the Horizon Arc project, Rhine Lab's credibility with Department of Defense has become roughly the equivalent of Mama John's scratch-off lottery tickets garbage.
Which is why I only came to you after Sari reached an understanding with Jackson. In the aftermath of the setback in Bolivar, the failure of the Horizon Arc project, and the Propeller Paradise incident, the Department of Defense's credibility with President Mark Max has become... Well, I suppose I should spare you the proverbs. I don't know what exactly our scientists are planning, but I know that the value they can create. In this, I'm sure we're in agreement. I'm a businessman, and my priority is Rhine's business interests.
Sounds like I have no reason to refuse.
It's a pleasure doing business with you.
To be frank with you, I didn't think much of you when Blake recommended you.
Ha, I'm sure you remember my life story just as I shared, which is a fairly interesting one if I do say so myself. All you need to do is think something of fate, as for your attitude toward the one who controls its pulse. That's really in your hands.
Okay, Junior, what you up to? I am sad that we couldn't actually have our Air Expo Columbia. But the ending is satisfying. Like, man. Like, gosh darn it. Yes, like, Rhine Lab would not usher in a new era. I'll be the one. I'll only be its ending to keep it moving. But it just so happens it's Rhine Lab that's ushering the new era. Man, Air Expo. You had so much potential. I want you to come back again, please. Please, Air Expo. Aw. Yeah, Vela. And Nasty there, it's cute. I appreciate that. I'm glad that they had a good ending. And that they kept the tree. If they shot down the tree, I would have been pissed off. Like, leave the poor tree alone, gosh darn it. It's not doing anything bad, it's just... It's there to look pretty and also give people peace. So please. But yeah, I'm happy that I was able to do the thing. Now I have even more stages to farm. Oh my goodness, see, for farming. I like Sky. I'm happy Sky had a good ending. I was rooting for him. But you go, Sky. And I didn't expect to like Gordon in the end. Like, Gordon Tannen, you're funny. Like, you go, sir. Like, you are on the scummy side, but... You're not a total hateable dude, so I appreciate you. His way of trolling was funny. Yes, make it an amusement park this time. I want to visit. Like, legit, it looked fun. I wanted to see all the exhibits. Gosh darn it, I like going to museums and such. Like, to me, it's fun. So what a missed opportunity. Like, come on, Columbia, you know you want that. Ah, well. But yeah, after this, I'm gonna farm the stage while drinking some water and stuff. Because, ooh, hydration important. Imagine hydrating. Hydrate or dehydrate after all. Hopefully the scientists in Bolivar, okay? But Mr. Merriam, I want to know more about your journeys. Like, holy cow, it's insane all the stuff you went through. Now I want to see how the other directors are.
本気で行くよ
Because we haven't seen all of them yet.
承知
And it's supposed to be 10 in total, right? So that's gonna be fun seeing how insanely cracked they are. That's gonna be fun. But that's for the future. And oh gosh, error risk detected. No fear, no pain. It's gonna be fine.
一番厄介な
I do wonder how it's gonna be revisiting Kiryu Arbor and Sami, especially Kiryu Arbor. Like, that one was beautiful.
一番
Oh,
厄介な
Misaki.
敵はどれだ
Precious, precious
私
Misaki.
が
Then I'll be good. I'm like an hour late for Arium, so hee
哀れ
hee. So that being said, thank you everyone for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of the day at Gacha Luck.
目の前にあるでしょ何を待ってる
I wanted to finish the event. I was stubborn.